And howdy, folks. Welcome to Mosaic Team 5, our original Starfinder campaign. I am Joe Treff, your DM this evening and most, and joining me are all of my friends, Matt, Dan, Kara, Olive, and Ari is finally rejoining us. Welcome back, Ari. Very happy to have you. We're going to be playing some... Oh, yeah. I got excited for the... Oh, that's me. Trademarks. I got very excited about the announcements, and so I jumped the gun a little bit. We're going to play Starfinder tonight, but the announcements, the thing that I got excited about is that tomorrow we are unfortunately not going to be playing D&D. However, as a result of that, we are going to be airing an original Shadow Dark RPG. I for whatever reason, Ari, while you've been gone, I have not been able to say Shadow Dark, and so it's been Shadow Gauntlet, it's been Grim Shadow, it's been everything that you could possibly imagine.
Shadow Run at one point, which is an entirely different TTRPG.
Which, yeah, also on my list of sessions to run at some point.
They're really cool lore.
But Ari ran a great game for us a number of weeks ago, and that is going to be airing tomorrow night in place of our original D&D campaign. It is easily, far and away, the most deaths in any one-shot that has ever been played. Actually, more than any campaign, and even more than the previous record holder, which was 6, where Michael killed enough characters that he started just becoming NPCs that were in the house. And so... you can see that when it airs tomorrow at 7 p.m. It's fantastic. I actually, 10 minutes into the game, laughed so hard that I am both crying and sweating, and that's just 10 minutes in. I was rewatching it. It's great. That is tomorrow. We are going to be right back on our regular schedule next week. Starfinder on Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, followed by D&D at 7 p.m. There is a YouTube where you can find all the old sessions, all of the one-shots, including the aforementioned one-shot where we had somebody go through 4 characters in one 3-hour session. That was Gunter's backstory one-shot.
Oh, it was still me.
That was the heist that went wrong immediately, as you would imagine.
According to plan.
I had planned this beautiful heist. Anyways. You can find us on Instagram at AllBrownRPG. We have a lot of pictures and things. We have a table, and we play in person, which is great, and so we always have cool stuff on our table. Right now, we have all kinds of handouts. I mean, you can see all kinds of things.
We're about to get into some Starship combat.
We're ready for Starship combat.
We have this been ready for weeks. But
where is your papers?
They're everywhere. You can see all of those things in much greater detail on Instagram at AllBrownRPG. We post it. I try to post something every day. I'm not good at it, and so you'll get things maybe like 4 times a week. We also are at AllBrownRPG on YouTube, on Threads, on stuff where you can find stuff. And that is all the announcements that I have. Oh.
Episode 100, or is that yesterday?
That was last week. Last week was
that's because I'm 101. It's because I'm always one behind on my notes.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah,
because that one shot messed me up.
There you go. So we
the diner, and that's why I hate Jimmy.
We are at 101 for this week. And it's actually time for this week's session of Mosaic Team 5.
Ciao.
Okay, I gotta recap.
Mosaic Team 5. Last time that we played, you found the upgrades to the Director paying dividends as they managed to surge back the strange arcane techno intervention that had briefly possessed your dog, the tiny corgi, Squeak. You used your airlock to create a vacuum in which it was safe to move the combustible Cindy to the cryo chamber from their temporary oil-filled containment unit. You flew back, while Bubbles and Spice slept off the evening's firefight, upon awakening, you had a team meeting to go over your looming lockout game, now just a day away. You decided that Shade would spend the day configuring your ships, adding various weapon systems, and making sure that you could conform, that's the word I'm looking for, to the plan that you had I know, I got so close. To the plan that you had laid forth. While Shade prepared these, it was left up to you, Echo, to run lockout practice, which was largely Spice and Bubbles arguing and colliding with each other several times over the moon of Zen. You came back. As Shade continued to work, Spice and Bubbles sparred with great passion.
Yes,
and Echo,
indeed.
you took the opportunity to head off and stake out one bar that you have heard a little bit about but not actually been to so far.
Anywhere but back at the warehouse, man.
Yeah, the bar at the end of everything. Truly a place of last resort, and that is where you turn to, faced with Bubbles and Spice, sparring with great passion, loudly.
Echo was featured for a second,
That's
too.
unfortunately true.
It was.
Spice offered to call out Echo's name. It was great. So, you went to the bar at the end of everything. You found Carbon Cartel members waiting outside and decided to approach anyways, playing dumb as if you had no idea where you were.
Yeah.
This worked to a degree, though you began to suspect that you were going to very quickly be engaged in android trafficking, as you were being led towards a place that was owned by an individual called Sakura, who you know is an individual who deals in less than willing mercenaries. You decided that you would play a card that you had not yet, and said that you were there to see the bartender Julian, and seemed that you knew just enough to be dangerous but not enough to be a friend. They immediately leveled guns on you and proceeded into one of the world's shortest chases, as Echo is quite fast, and immediately outpaced their pursuers. You returned to the group, unfortunately finding that Bubbles and Spice were very committed to the sparring session, which continued well until you were visited by the Oather, an individual who was sent by Hardcore Henry to find out if you were willing to take this criminal's offer to fix the match in return for your safety. Bubbles and Spice, you did throw this individual off quite significantly.
You're welcome.
But ultimately, you declined this offer and set yourself up for a significantly more difficult lockout experience in the coming days. After they left, after a tense conversation, Shade, with some prompting from Spice, you asked for some help. You took positions on the ground in various forms of attire,
Oh, yeah.
and using your latent psionic gifts, you delved into the remnants of Shade's mind. And into the memory cores, you found a smell that belonged to nobody other than your mother. And following this strange memory, you were able to glimpse just a fraction of something from Shade's past. Long ago, you saw your mother much younger than you had ever seen her before. You saw Jade Brunei, a space elf scientist who you had all actually murdered, not 4.5 weeks ago.
Yep.
Count.
We missed the
Counterpoint.
anniversary.
I did not murder Jade Burnett.
You were in the building.
I was in the building.
You were an accessory.
Part of the team
Certainly
now,
an
so
accessory. Eating at
share the
meat,
load.
yes. Share the load. Oh, man, that threw me out for a second. Anyways, you saw Jay Brunei, the space elf who
shit.
you had all murdered. And then finally, you tried to look to the right and felt the grinding gears within the android mechanic's neck not quite responding to see this third figure. But with the 42 Spice, you glance to the side, and in a reflection of some of this laboratory equipment, you can see one more person. And that is where we begin the scene.
Ooh! Here we go.
What?
Dan's just asking
Questions.
item shit.
Gotcha.
Oh, I left with the lasers out.
I
Bringing
just
it back.
found it. I don't know.
This is the only one I can.
I don't know where my fidgets are.
So Shade's neck grinds. And even in this memory, even in the distance, even through the static of the electronic in the ears, you can sense or hear this crackle and shift, and you look to the left and you can see there is some kind of stirring or whirring machinery, and there are glass tubes attached to it. And in the reflection, Spice, you can glimpse a gentleman whose most distinct feature is the glasses that he wears. They hold the reflection even in this memory, and they look a little bit younger, but almost immediately you can tell that this is Dr. Maldras.
What?
They're wearing a blank white lab coat, and you can see they say advanced. That is not the term I would use for mere machinations of flesh and steel. After all, humanity has long since moved past simple puppetry. How do you feel about children, Miss Anuto? I have a few I would be most interested in having you meet. And the vision fades. Just as your communicators beep, chime, or play tunes for midnight local time. It is now Friday, the very first day of this competition, and though sleep still lay before all of you, so too does round one of the tournament.
Spice.
Gibbs, you wake up in a pile of trash.
Spice probably like goes out of the memory and just like looks at Shade in the eyes, and then looks at her. Where's Bubbles?
I'm probably still chilling right around here.
And then looks at Shade, and then looks at Bubbles. Bubbles?
What?
That's my brother.
What do you mean?
Or you're my brother.
Babe, you're getting ahead of yourself.
I saw some shit in there.
Babe, you just calm down. Bubbles is gonna take out. He has a canteen of water. He'll just offer it to Spice. Babe, it's alcohol.
She guzzles it and then looks at Shade and says, "Did you see that?
I experienced the same things that you did.
Fucking crazy! My mom was in there. Bubbles' parents were in there.
Please, I need a moment to process.
My parents.
Dr. Maldras and Jade Brunei and my mom were all in Shade's memories. I saw it.
Your mom too. I mean,
Shade, make a fortitude saving throw.
Spice, I know you said that your mom was working on some kind of big government thing, but
I didn't know it was with episode 3 over here. Iteration 3, sorry.
Episode.
Revenge.
Babe, that's not
I mean,
nice.
Shade was there too.
The Spice slaps back.
Shade was there.
Babe, that's not nice. There's only one Shade here, and that's the Shade who's our captain.
But he's had 3 shadows since that day I saw the first time, and now the third one, the one before us, has the same parents as we do.
With a 30, as Spice says, Jade Brunei and Dr. Maldras in particular, there is a surge, and you can feel a crackle as electricity attempts to connect to these memory cores that are no longer there. And you don't take any damage, you don't feel dazed, nothing like that, but those words, they mean something now in a way that they didn't before.
There's more to Jade Brunei and Dr. Maldras. Your mother as well, but there's nothing more we can do right now.
This is fucking crazy!
Make an insight check, Shade.
Sense motive,
Sorry, yes.
which I'm so good at. I'm not. It's like I think it's a 4, but let me double check it.
Oh my god, in Starfinder?
I know.
Can you even roll that
4 in
low?
Starfinder is a negative 3.
Oh god.
4.
No!
Yeah.
There's
Wow.
your 42 out the window.
Yeah,
No kidding, I'm kidding.
yikes.
Somewhere in the distant reaches of your current memory, there are connections to be made. But none of them are being made right now.
I mean, in fairness, there's a lot to process.
No,
right
absolutely.
now.
And that's a part of what it is. I mean,
Yeah.
right now there are connections that are kind of rapid fire, even in thinking about the little fixtures that you saw. Where have you seen these lamps before? Where have you seen these things before? I mean, it's just kind of matching up against every visual piece of data that you have stored on your hard drive, but it's not really connecting at the moment.
Babe, I think Shade's right. I don't think this is what we should be focusing on now. Even though it kind of gives me the heebie-jeebies that your mom was kind of working with Maldros on,
I think it's cute that our moms were friends.
Babe, that's not the point. Is that your takeaway from this, babe?
Yes!
Babe, oh my, babe. Bubs is like gonna touch his
I
hands
saw
to
them all
his
hanging
eyes.
out through eyes that weren't mine. It's cute.
Technically, everything that you see is through eyes that aren't yours now.
Heyo.
Hey.
Well, you did pay for them.
It's true. I guess, yeah. I guess you own them.
Yeah.
Babe, let's talk about that some other time.
Get
come
up
on,
and
let's-
try to take some space from this conversation that's happening as I process
I
this
don't think
information.
Spice. I think she's like having a conversation with Bubbles, but like grabs your collar or something and goes, "Big bro, stay with us a little bit. We're related now. You can't get rid of me that fast. I need keep." We have some
Shade's gonna-
lockout to play.
Make a
Take out a cigarette.
sense motive check. You
Okay.
take that cigarette out for sure as this memory attempts to resurface. The exocortex behind the eye patch whirs into life, and you pull out a cigarette.
Sense motive. Let's see what we got here. 26.
Okay. With a 26, you look at Shade, and as you do, you can see Shade takes out a cigarette, and to you, that speaks a little bit about annoyance. And there's something to that. And there is a memory that you have of Bubbles talking to you about an interaction with Shade. And actually, Bubbles, you didn't explicitly say this, but at some point within your relationship, did you tell Spice about the conversations that you've had with Shade in the engineering bay?
I would say probably Bubs has talked a little bit. Not like super in depth because he wants to respect Shade and give him respect as a person, like an individual, but to probably like, I mean, they're basically married. I mean, we talk.
Sure. So not great sense motive from Bubs passively, but you,
I make up for it.
while Bubs hasn't really shared a whole lot, you have noticed that Shade sometimes almost seems to have this like irrational impatience. And you've definitely felt this towards yourself.
100%.
But you recognize that as well, this has existed towards Bubbles. A little bit less Echo or even Gibbs, and that's curious.
Yeah.
And you didn't see Gibbs' mom there.
Didn't.
You didn't see Echo's mom there, whatever that would mean.
Yeah.
Maybe there's something to that. But in
Yeah,
this
shared
moment,
moms.
as the cigarette lights and you can smell
My mom
that,
was there. It was just Jade Brunei.
Is your middle name Miles, Jade?
I am designated synthetic humanoid designed for aeronautic and deep exploration.
Okay, that didn't answer my question.
His middle name's Aeronautic.
Does that mean deep exploration is his last name?
Yeah.
Dope.
I do not know if my name was ever Miles.
Iteration 1?
Babe, I think we're all talked out now, babe.
Given the information that I've processed thus far, it appears as if Iteration 1 was my previous form as a lockout pilot.
As Shade says this, Bub feels uneasy for some reason.
Iteration suggests that as a lockout pilot might not have been the original form. An iteration is a copy of something. A play on an original.
So you think there's 4 beings? I think there's only 3. So I think iteration 1 was the biological one, then iteration 2 was the either semi android
Or,
or
as
and then
Dr.
3 is
Maltros
Shade.
stated, a puppet.
If iteration 1 is biological, it cannot be the original.
I see your thought process.
If it is the original, whoever has started the naming convention should seriously consider.
Better names.
Indeed.
I'm Iteration 1 Spice.
Make a sense motive check, Echo.
Yeah, but there can only be one.
And I would
of
say
you.
take a +2 conditional modifier. This relates to specifically being an android.
Androids!
Natural 20.
Hey!
For a total of
6.
36.
Okay. So,
Echo can sense motives.
yes. And for this in particular, this has a little bit to do with your own personal history. Companies are very distinct in the way in which they name things. Naming conventions are incredibly important for marketing. They have certain symbolic meaning to certain companies, and a lot of it has to do with the culture from which the company is placed. But you've actually heard your party mention that drow ships seem to have very similar names. They seem to all be called like very kind of murder, bloodthirsty sort of names.
Void butthole.
Things like that, yeah, sure. And the void butthole's little tug out in the middle of
Void
nowhere.
Eater!
It services the void eater.
Revenge for last week.
What were we even talking about?
So
Buttholes.
We're talking about names.
you think about different names, and for something to be called Iteration 1, you've never really heard iterations used for something before. And thinking about Shade's designation, you've never really heard of that kind of a model. It's definitely not Pallades Rock or one of the conglomerates that might be associated with it. It doesn't really sound, you think about how Harbinger Robotics, all of their names have vague kind of, there's a word for when it sounds like what it does. Is it an onomatopoeia?
Oh, I know what this is called.
So like their
Said my
controlled
name wrong.
burning unit was called a burner. Like they have different things that
Yeah.
are kind of in that same sound set. And so
Said it
Deep
wrong.
explanation.
perhaps looking for something with similar naming conventions would connect you to something further with Shade. You can't think of anything off the top of your head, and that would tell you that you don't know this company or person or group. But with a natural 20, something about the way in which Dr. Maldross spoke also makes you think that Shade is probably linked to another project somewhere else. Someone that's further along in its development, perhaps. And
You guys are brother and sister.
who knows?
Brother and they them. Or
More thinking about my earlier theory that special research group.
He's
Who
number
knows?
3.
One thing I have considered, which may pose relevant. Shade, I have not heard your designation being used before in any situation from any corporation, and I have worked with many corporations.
Yes, this is something that has caused me concern for some time.
It stands to reason that you were developed by someone not connected to public domain, or traded publicly, or privately, for that matter. Knowing that Jade Brunei and Dr. Maldross are associated with your creation, perhaps the special research group. Oh God.
I've never heard
Sorry
Echo
about that.
stutter.
It is a difficult name to say. Perhaps they have a hand in your creation.
That is one of the more likely situations, given what we know.
Guys, you're all talking like Shade isn't here. I mean, come on. I mean, yeah, there's possibly could be the situation that we're talking about, but you know, there's only one Shade, and that person's right in front of us.
That
Bubbles.
is incorrect.
Yeah.
There have been at least 3 of Shade that we now know of.
After all, I am number 72,549 of echoes.
It just makes me uneasy is all. I don't want to think of you guys as like copies or something.
It's okay.
Would you say I am not a legally distinct entity from 899?
No, of course not.
Then this shade is not a copy.
Bubbles. Make a sense motive check.
Gives your
I need to start. Yeah, I need to start talking so I make sense motive.
What's up with your feelings today, I guess? I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm in therapy. And be in therapy, guys. It's great.
Not
Highly recommend
It
it.
is a
13.
13.
Not
Okay.
great.
With a 13, you do feel uneasy, and there is something to that.
Yes.
When you look at these two and you think about the ideas of them being copies or not being real, these things that are similar to each other,
The racism
Something's really
bleeds
strange
into
about
your human mind.
All I'm saying, guys, is just maybe we can just get ready for the match. I don't need these, these heebie-jeebies right before we start, doing a space combat. That's already kind of freaking me out.
Is it?
Does our presence give you heebie-jeebies?
Well, maybe some of the heebies, but not all the jeebies.
You might wish to speak with Gibbs about your Hebe's problem.
Shade. There is a communication. You turn my music down. That's why it's so soft.
You sneaky poot.
So loud.
We're playing a great game. You'll get to see it in July. You, Shade, get a message on your communicator, and it's from the director. When you had asked for kind of information on intel that was gathered from the general system, and this is a text message from the director that says, traffic has increased to the Zen crawler within the last several minutes.
I can't respond without setting off potential alarms, right? Well,
Correct.
all right. I just received word from the director. Traffic has increased towards the Zen crawler within the last few minutes.
We've got some tourists ready to see us fight.
Wait, how far away is our? We have 1 night of sleep left before our match.
You don't even have to sleep if you don't want. It's currently 12:10 a.m.
Okay.
and it is the day of the first round. And
So, like 8 a.m.
No, the first round is probably going to, well, not probably. Give me 1 second.
I would
You
like
pull
to
out the little
rest
flyer.
again.
Yeah, sorry.
And taking out the flyer, you can see that your match is scheduled for 4 p.m. the next day. So you have most of the day in front of you. You guys have not slept yet. And so sleeping will take at least 8 hours.
They
We did.
the day before.
You did the day before. So we've gone through a whole day. You guys were very active for an entire day, essentially.
Wow.
It seems as though you have 0 stamina
Well,
points.
some were.
This is from
I'm down to just rest. I feel like we've
Now
done
you
some.
Yes, no, it makes sense. It makes sense now to sleep.
Wait, I need to rest. I need water.
And then after you sleep at about 8 a.m., you will have roughly, I'm bad at math, 6 hours, give or take, to get ready.
You gotta get this.
So are you all resting?
I would like to.
Yes, I had quite an eventful day.
Oh, well, if Gibbs is back,
I'll
then...
take a watch.
Well, if I rest again, then I'm almost at full health anyway, so...
There are
I
still
don't want to use my shit on
some
on-
preparations.
right now.
That's fine. You don't need to.
Right.
How about getting some food? I'm kind of hungry, guys.
Waffles!
Yeah, we could have a family dinner.
I do not know of any location that serves waffles on the Zen crawler.
You guys didn't bring back the food processor? We're gonna starve.
It's on the director.
Yeah, I know. They went there. They could have
Gibbs,
brought it back.
don't you have a whole backpack full of food you were gonna trade?
Didn't I give that to the...
We
Oh,
have
yeah.
already traded it away.
You gave all that food away, all of it?
Yeah, to the other Yosokis.
Gibbs, that was so much food.
Not for a colony of Yosokis. It's like half a meal per mouthful. Half a
Yeah,
mouthful.
I guess I never
per
thought
rat.
of it like that.
Half a mouthful full per rat.
Special research group.
But I do have meat pucks.
Oh, my favorite.
My favorite.
Wow, it's been a second.
Well, I mean, I don't know if they're my favorite. It just, I can't really taste anything, but it's.
The mushy texture is nice, isn't it? It's comforting after a while.
Yeah, it's just comforting to have something that is always be there and always be the same.
Yep. It's geriatric food. Not chewing is great sometimes.
I mean, as Bub says that things will always be the same. He kind of like hangs on his words, and that's it.
Sure.
I will pass out meat pucks.
Nice.
You know that there are things very close that could change things in an instant. And so that definitely hangs on your mind.
Remember, we only have a few hours before the match next morning. Get rest now and be ready to prepare. It is not the most ideal circumstances that we are heading into our first match, but we need to continue moving forward together as a team.
Do we know where our first match?
You do.
Sorry, I missed that.
You had gotten, we did a flyby of the race course when we went back to the director, and I recorded it with the exocortex and shared it to you guys.
So Gibbs, as you're like kind of getting settled in for the evening and you're looking around,
I'll message
you pull out the poster. It's like a digital poster, the little data slate that has updated, and you can see that the Neon Rates, will be facing the top rope turbos in the first round in a place that is called the Monday Bloodbath Graveyard, which is just out of orbit from Zin proper. It is the site of wreckage from an attempted rebellion or uprising that occurred on the Zin Crawler a number of years ago. And Shade and Echo had actually gotten to fly by it.
Yeah.
They noticed that there was a colossal Vesk carrier, the like husk and ruins of one.
It's like an old...
And there is a couple of other elements of debris that could potentially house some defenses as well. And you learned a little bit about this scoring process. At the end of the match, the most points are going to win. You can score points by lapping around this huge carrier.
Okay.
You can also score points by disabling ships, especially the rival captain.
Okay.
And that is what you would know. You know, each round you get a random field, and your next opponent will be the winner between the Veloci Revengers and the Star Cobras, which is occurring on the Starburn Raceway
Okay.
at 6 o'clock.
I just sent you in the Discord.
Oh. Thank you.
You are the third match in the day out of a total of 4. The Garachi Void are taking on the Vesk in the ice field. The Flying Fangs, the Ahsoki team, are taking on a team called the Dreadlight Collective in the Garachi atmosphere. And then the Veloci Revengers are taking on the Star Cobras on the Starburn Raceway. So you can all mark off a long rest if you would like.
Fuck yeah.
You could wake up in the morning. Some of you with a little bit more health than you had in the previous evening. All of you significantly more rested, as some of you had more physical days than others in the previous. It is 8 a.m. That means that you have just 8 hours to go until you want to begin until the actual match begins. You probably would like to get there earlier. It takes only where your flight is about like 10 minutes to get up to your battlefield. So you don't need to leave especially early unless you want to.
Spice will yawn out of her narcotics crate and be like, well, do we want to try to practice again? She'll look over at Echo. Because I'm willing to... Okay, well, fine with me. Let's explore Zin then.
We do not have time.
I got some
8
stuff
hours.
to do.
What else am I going to do in 8 hours?
So
You could shiny your ship up.
as you kind of wake up, this is tournament day. And even from where you are, you can hear that there is stuff happening out in the hallway. There is like chatter, and it's been relatively quiet. There's always been like footfalls and motors and things like that. You know the sounds of the Zin Crawler. But even for you, Echo, this is like pretty lively. And it's not violence. And that is what really sets it apart from normal kind of uproars. You can hear lots of Skittermander voices kind of calling out beyond. And so almost certainly there have been some outside sort of food provisions brought in, especially for this occasion. There's likely vendors that are moving around on the streets. This means, and what the director was probably trying to get at is, these streets will be very busy. That means that it will be very easy to blend in. It also means that same thing for everybody else. And that's something just to keep in mind. I would say for those of you who check your communicators first thing in the morning, almost certainly, I would say Gibbs.
All my family group chats.
Yeah, you pull it up, and your family group chats, as you're going through it, all the different like malware that kind of projects like news and stuff onto your screen. You do see flashes of all kinds of stuff where people are there is a convergence on the Zin Crawler, and there are people who are definitely showing up to watch this. Make a cultures check, Gibbs.
Joe, can I just say, when you're describing the whole scene with the music, that was fantastic.
Yeah, that was-
I could feel the excitement in the air.
Sirenscape. The
24.
24.
Someone give me a hot dog.
24, you click on one of the ads and you there's a whole bunch of different flashing X's and close buttons and you don't know which one to press. So you just press right in the middle and it's like if you were Luke Skywalker shooting down the Death Star, you tapped the one pixel that could possibly bring you to the actual link. And you open it up and you can see it's showing it's like a local blog post about stuff that's happening in this in-crawler. There have been vid screens pushed into windows, onto roofs. There is video being projected via drone into the air to show previews of past races and things like that. And so the entirety of the outside has really been transformed for a very violent backwater station into a relatively festive place.
Nice. Look at us. We're going to be on the news. Look, my family can watch. I won't send it until afterwards, but...
Remember, we need to remain undercover.
I literally
Something good to
said
think about for the
that.
undercover element, yes.
Gibbs does note that Echo's undercover persona has changed.
Yes.
Oh, what are you now?
I have not yet thought of a name, but considering my cover got blown last night, I am in need of a new one.
You could be an earthen android.
Given the fact that they already know you are here, the details don't seem to matter very much.
You know, there's this robot I once saw called Wally, and what he did is he took a little trash and he tucked it in his tummy, and then just squatted, and then had a little trash cube. Have you thought about that?
Why are all your solutions trash related?
I'm inspired by what surrounds me.
When you have
Do
a
I
hammer.
resemble this trash compactor robot?
Maybe if you sat on your haunches a little more. Can you make your legs little conveyor belts?
No.
Oh,
Damn.
that would be cool.
That is not a feature of the Echo unit.
That would be cool.
That would be cool.
Is it
I
the
feel as if I would move slower.
Probably.
lightning? What's the Bubbles? You would know. There's a lightning superhero in old earthen lore.
Oh, yeah.
Speed McQueen.
That is not the lightning hero that I thought you were talking about. Ciao! I was like, okay, Static Shock, or a little bit more esoteric. Maybe as Thor. Maybe
The Flash,
I know
there's a lightning bolt on it.
so
but
many different places that could have
Speed
gone.
McQueen.
Fucking McQueen.
Is not from Earth.
Shout,
Let
shout.
me make that clear.
Mildly NASCAR.
Can I just say?
Wait, are you trying to say Flash Gordon?
I'm literally asking Dan
Have any of you
for.
read the theory about cars and how it exists within the larger
And it's
world?
Not a
so
sponsor.
weird.
It's so it's
It's how
dark.
do they give birth? And
It's,
do
there's a
they eat?
lot. There's a lot of really
I wanna
dark
think about how
implications
cars
from
get
that
birthed
particular
out
movie,
with the
and there's certain
androids.
implications that show that they've thought about some weird stuff. But neither here.
Wait, are you talking not the actor Steve McQueen? You're talking about the Cars 2.
Lightning McQueen.
Oh yeah.
No,
Hey,
I
welcome to this
literally.
conversation,
You meant
man.
Lightning McQueen.
I didn't mean anything. I was literally like, what comes to Dan's mind
Oh,
first?
man.
Yeah, you want
That-
to yes and
yeah.
When you said
Steve.
McQueen really. gave
I
you
am
lightning.
Steve.
So anyway,
Steve
The
McQueen.
second
No,
Steve Android.
just Steve.
Okay, Mr. McQueen.
But it's S.T.E.
Okay.
Anyways, can I make the finishing touches on the junk I was working on?
Yeah.
Great. Can I make one that is
looking up Steve's.
disco ball load that I've taken all shiny metallic objects and
Broken CDs, DVDs,
Yeah, yeah,
things,
yeah.
all the old AOL things.
yeah, cool. And then I've taken paint and sunscreen and made a squid ammo
Nice.
that was gonna Mario Kart ink people.
Make an engineering.
Bubbles will donate some sunscreen.
can I help seeing if I see Gibbs trying to make these modifications, I would probably want to help.
Are you gonna let Shade help?
Yeah, I'm gonna let Shade help.
I'm gonna help
So-
by giving sunscreen.
Please.
This is how. Okay, so this is how this will work with Bubs and Shade helping. That's going to be a +6 conditional modifier, and the roll. It's going to be successful with Shade helping, especially.
Yeah.
The roll is going to dictate how long it's going to take you. You have about 8 hours.
Okay. And I started a little bit with my trash
Yeah,
sorting.
yeah.
Nice.
Okay. 8 plus 6.
Okay.
14.
That's 14.
14.
We like 14.
Only takes 14 hours.
It takes 14 years. So,
Oh, guys, you missed the tournament.
Gibbs, you take out all these different bags and you're excited. You have all this trash. You are like living right now in essentially a 3-story trash room.
Yeah.
You had just been in a trash compactor. You're living your best life right now. And so you have so much around you. You just can't wait to get started. And you start several things at once and keep going back and forth to projects. Shade, in their very logical mind, goes to the first project and keeps working on it.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of interference happening. Things kind of go backwards sometimes, but it only takes you about an hour.
Nice.
Gibbs, if you
And you can do one
maintain
more
a
too, if you
single
want.
pile, it will be more efficient.
Right, but then as you're sorting, I'm like, ooh, that would be good there. Ooh, that would be better here.
Yes, but if you log that information and then address it appropriately at the correct time, it will take...
Oh, look, they're both done.
And you hold up exactly one bulk of disco trash. And then
Oh.
you put that down and you hold one bulk of slimy trash. And you put that down. And you figure you have enough time to make one more specialty trash if you want.
Sticky trash.
Yeah, I'm gonna use. I've got some frictionless gel, but I want to like
Oh, you
Like,
should, yeah.
opposite it?
'Cause we're facing the buzzsaw.
Opposite it.
yeah, like you know how you can like pour one thing into like
Something slippery to
you
get
pour
out of
orange juice in your
grapples would
coffee
be
and it ruins
nice.
it, right? So I want to like
There are people, man. You said that, but you know full well. As soon as you said that, there is some guy out there who's like
Orange juice in my
every
coffee.
fucking morning. Yeah.
Only way to start the day.
If that's you.
Seek help.
But you know how you can like scientifically put like one thing in to like flop the
Like
properties?
hydrophobia.
Yeah, I want to like flop the
You're
properties.
specifically talking about an element of molecular gastronomy where you're thinking about the flavor chemicals. So you
Yeah.
add like linolene and certain things to make like lime and like rosemary together taste like salt and things like that so that's super complex stuff that you're trying to
Aw,
do.
shit.
And you certainly that would be much harder. You get the sense
Okay.
that would be a lot of your
I
day.
need to go to Le Cordon Bleu
Alright,
to be able
then
to make
the
that
less
kind
elegant,
of trash.
less elegant option: shrapnel trash.
I
Okay.
could
Right, I just-
also run out and get some emulsification, Joe.
Ooh, is that sticky stuff? Oh yeah, I ate that. Didn't
It's
I?
like not
No.
easy to get down.
You were wigged out by it.
Oh yeah, I didn't eat that.
That's people
I don't.
mush.
Yeah, I don't want people mush. I've had enough of that in my life forever.
That's psychological damage when you get to
Yeah.
Given the team that we are matched up against, it may benefit you having something to resist grapples. They have a mechanical arm on one of their vessels.
Ooh, can I do like a pool noodle version where it's gonna get like stuck in all their gears?
Yeah, you
I want to
absolutely
do
can.
like spaghetti shrapnel.
Put the stick in the front bike tire and they flip over.
Yeah, it's just
But,
a bunch
like,
of like
in the
silly
chain.
string.
So one of the things that you've used plenty of is, and you have a lot that is no longer usable for its current form, is static tape.
Nice.
And you've like applied charges to it so many times
Yeah.
now that like you have probably several feet of it that really just don't work. And so if you take that and you shred it into long ribbons and you house that into a bulk of trash,
Yeah.
it will work similar to the way that if you've ever seen somebody wearing like those coveralls designed for chainsaws work,
Yes.
they're
Yes.
full of fibers that just like,
Yes.
clog up that stuff. And so it will work very much like that. And that can be your third one. We'll call that. So you have disco trash, you have a bulk of slimy trash, and you have a bulk of clogging trash.
Spaghetti shrapnel.
Spaghetti shrapnel. I'm changing it to that. Okay.
Love that.
No
All right.
problem.
Quick question: how much frictionless gel do we have?
I've got one.
I think it's a very small amount. It's like a little tin
You
of
and
it.
Spice have used a lot of it, but
Especially after last
We
night.
don't actually need to use it
Because
Because
it's
Bob produces his
space.
own.
so wet.
Ew.
I mean, technically, yes. But, ew.
I've got one, is what I've got written down.
I have an unlimited supply, actually.
So for frictionless gel, the actual product is, if you think about like the slime that you get in like a little tin, it's like one of those of frictionless gel.
So it's like a little Easter egg full.
And I gave the Yosokis all of my soda and all of my food and like whatever, all that extra stuff. That's
Yeah.
gone. All right, I'm deleting it from my inventory.
But not the V-Bucks.
So first
No.
2 hours, the three of you are spending time making some very special trash. Bubbles, this is a special hell for you, but you help out with
But
it.
it's sorted trash for the first time out. You're like,
Echo
ooh,
and
recycling.
Spice, what are you doing for the first 2 hours?
I know what I want to do.
Your boyfriend's busy.
She doesn't.
Yes.
She doesn't know he exists.
2-hour shower it is then.
To regain one's resolve point, I can walk around town and like soak up the culture. Basically.
You certainly can. You want to walk around for an hour?
Yeah.
You gonna go
Echo, do you
alone?
want to come for a walk?
Okay. It is probably best that we go in teams.
Pick up a corn dog.
You got it, hun.
Remember, stay discreet.
Okay.
It will be easier with the large crowds, but
You watch as her
She
morphic
doesn't say
skin
anything else.
shimmers into Bastion.
Okay.
Echo's uncanny valley eyes just like blink.
Just a little too blue, a little too high res, like more high res than real life.
He's
Too many
scary.
pixels.
The fact that you can see wind blowing through the eyelashes, real disturbing.
Ooh, yeah, they flutter.
All right, give me 1 second here. You make your way up. And you certainly can hear that it is much more lively out amongst the Zin Crawler. As you walk out onto Warvok Shorn, there is all the normal kind of smells that you would get from very nearby, kind of over a couple streets. There is the Gruzelgrot, which is the food eater hole, a just very general kind of distribution point for goods that are shipped in. But unlike other days, Echo, and you've almost never seen this before, there are people walking around with every conceivable amount of food. In fact, as you are like walking out, the first thing that you see walking by is a waffle vendor. All kinds of waffles, slug waffles, you got your pineapple waffles, you got your space waffles. You even see something called a negative waffle, and it's very, very securely housed. This looks like maybe something a little bit more esoteric in the species that it's for. But they kind of move on. There's tons of stuff here.
Oh. Did you not say you wanted something called a hot dog?
Corn dogs. Super close. They're kind of related. They're older than things, but I know there's a difference in the bread that goes around the outside.
Both
Would
of you
a
make a
bully
perception
dog
check.
help?
Yes, it actually would.
Echo looks for bully dogs.
Okay.
Close enough, I think.
Easy to do.
Are those like bullfrog hot dogs?
Percepzione is a 30-30.
Okay.
That's gonna be a 38.
Both
You found
30 and a
Oh, sorry,
38.
not a 38, 24. Sorry.
First of all, you find what you're
No,
looking
34.
for. 34.
Sorry.
Math.
With
Math.
over a 15, because of how much is around, food is plentiful. And it has not been like this for some time. You do see that there's a tremendous number of Yosoki out here. And they are, like, with that check, they're gathering food in a way that is not made for any one person to eat. They're systematically going and, like, acquiring food to probably bring back. I mean, you live with Gibbs. You know what this probably will look like. in
They're
the end.
cleaning out the stalls.
They're taking full advantage of the sudden surge in food. You also note amongst this big gathering of Yosoki, there are a number of Carbon Cartel enforcers. And as you look around, you see 3 different pairs, for 6 in total, that are either on rooftops or walking amongst the crowd. And they are definitely out in much more force than you would normally see. And you actually see one stop somebody, go through their communicator. It's a little bit more aggressive and random than it would normally be. But you see that. You find the food that you were looking for. I didn't catch what it was, but you get it.
Corn dogs and
Bully dog.
bully dog. I don't know what Spice doesn't know what that.
It
or
looks like a
all
hot
hands
dog.
would. Okay.
Probably
Looks
tastes
good to me.
kinda like a hot dog.
How many
It's a
did you
little
get?
Well, I only got one.
That's
because
fine.
I heard you were looking for one.
You see Spice pulls out from her behind her back 10 corn dogs.
What?
She like fans them all out.
They're like the
Yeah, like
Like
a
a werewolf guy, yeah.
Wolverine. Yeah, she's like, that's good, but I bring up the ante 10 corn dogs. Let's go see what else we can find. I really like sweets. What do we have in the way of sweets?
Yeah, sweets with those checks, literally anything that you want. You can go
There are
around
many
and
sweets. I particularly enjoy these.
And Echo points towards a
Yellow
stall that sells
cubes.
cubes.
Yellow cube.
so you can see
Okay.
there is a single stall. There is a very simple looking SRO that probably at one point was a desktop computer. and they are selling. It looks like what you would imagine like an ice cream shop with all those like little partition things.
Yeah.
But in each one, there is an evenly distributed number of yellow nutrient cubes. You can see there's no signs that designate them, so almost certainly they're all the same.
Okay.
But yeah, you can go get
I
some
always
yellow
thought it was
nutrient
cheese
cubes.
flavored.
These are based off of an old Earth food called Turkish Delight.
Oh, in real life, Olive loves that shit. But in Spice World, Spice is gonna go.
Tastes like perfume. It's good though.
I want something more like sugary. If that makes any sense.
You can see there's somebody walking by right now, and they have like these little what look like balloons with silvery threads, but the balloons themselves seem to have been formed with sugar, and there are like little tiny crystallized like candies that float within those.
Spice is going to take an extremely quick sweep to see if any Carbon Cartel are looking for her, and then if they're not, she's gonna make a dive.
With your
that.
perception check, there's like several pairs of them that are currently looking around.
Okay, so she's not going to absolutely lose her cool then. She's going to start sweating with the amount of restrained effort it takes to get to the cotton candy guy.
Okay.
But she's speed walks up.
Okay, no problem.
Echo wants to palm Spice's communicator and put it into the concealed compartments with theirs.
Okay.
In public?
Make a sleight of hand check.
Straight in the butthole.
Can I offer any? Well, actually, if it's sleight of hand, then I wouldn't know. Never mind.
It's 39. It's
yeah,
fine.
And there's a lot of people, so it's like
Sleight of hand is
So
my best
as
skill.
Echo puts a Turkish delight right into your mouth, the other hand that steadies you on the hip just pulls your communicator off your wrist as they pull away, and you have no communicator. Not that you notice.
Nope.
Don't check the thing anyway.
Nope.
So you
And
go
you
over.
see she comes back, so let's say she ate 5 corn dogs, so she's got 5 corn dogs in one hand and 5 cotton candies in the other.
Yes.
I don't have any hands left.
Make a very low DC fortitude saving throw. That's a lot of corn dogs.
It's a lot of corn dogs.
Okay.
Too bad there's not a
Gives
hot
never
dog
once
eating
had to.
contest that goes before the tournament.
Still.
Don't start.
Yeah, don't get me. I'm very mad at hot dog.
Okay.
Are you mad at?
I'm so mad about it. I'm
Yeah,
so mad about it.
I saw
It was
that
a
the first thing I
19.
So
thought.
mad.
A 19.
Yep.
You just pound these hot dogs down. You can see like as you're eating them, people stop and kind of look, and like other people are like, "Dude, don't stare," and like push them on.
What she does is she just like puts the whole thing in her mouth and then just pulls the
God.
stick out.
The dude,
This is like
the dude pulls them
fucking-
back, and they walk
Okay.
with the other 4.
Before we go on any further, that is like the same thing as fucking this guy, as Don Gorski, fucking open mind.
So what Dan and
Food.
me are upset about is the fact that the like hot dog eating champion guy,
Joey
not John Gorski,
Chestnuts.
Joey
Joey
Chestnuts.
He has a
He was
name.
banned, right?
He was banned,
From
yeah.
Nathan's for not signing their like non-compete or some shit.
Because he ate vegan hot dogs and he's endorsed them.
Yeah. I mean, wow. Anyways,
Not
that's a
vegan
different-
The
hot dog
sport
people.
owes him.
They need to go and do a hot dog eating
Don
contest.
Gorski. Anyways,
The fact that everyone knew that is
I know.
great.
I think it's one of those things where now I get this in my Instagram feed
Yeah.
because of Dan's character that he played for those 2 one-shots. Anyways,
the algorithm always hears.
I hate the term algorithm. Hate it. So, you can grab all of this food. You can get these little balloons made out of sugar that are full of little hard candies. And when you pop and bite in, the air itself is flavored. So that's the first thing. It's like strawberry. And then the little hard candies fall into the palm of your hand. As you like exclaim, your voice incredibly high pitched. And these little candies, each one is like one of those. I can't remember what they're called, but they like sparkle in your almost
Pop rocks.
almost like Pop Rocks, but like they taste like warheads. They're sour, they're sugary and sweet. They taste like fruits that you are not familiar with, but they're delightful.
Definitely a choking hazard.
Oh, almost certainly.
Are there any of the other lockout tournament people, especially the Flying Fangs, around, or are they all practicing?
With your perception check,
They're
you do not
practicing.
see one of the Flying Fangs. I would say
They
here
all-
in the Warlock Shorn. Give me 1 second. I gotta pull up my other spreadsheets here. Teams on.
They're gonna be so jealous of you.
You do see a Shirin who is wearing all black, and you do know that the Garachi Void have all black ships, and this Shirin was not one of the ones that you saw with the GPF kind of outlaws, and so you would imagine this is probably somebody from the Garachi Void.
That's the boss.
Who knows? You also would see You said a 32?
With my original perception check, yeah, it was high. It was definitely over a third. It was a dirty 30, that's what it was.
Echo, what was yours?
34.
34. So, Echo, Spice doesn't see this, but you do notice that there is an individual from the team that you will be facing up against, and you can kind of tell based on their... Give me 1 second here. I have so many notes for this week, it's a little bit ridiculous.
I have better ideas.
Put cyanide on their hot dog.
You see a Lashunta. They are wearing primarily black. You can see lilac-colored hair. There is a slight lilac tinge to their skin as well. And that stands out pretty significantly from the all-black flight suit that they wear. They have reinforced knee pads with hard points where you can see different tools magnetically attached. This is an individual that you know is on the team that you will be going up against. And you had heard them that this was their mechanic. They have a black face mask on over their nose, cheeks, mouth, and chin, so you can really only see the eyes and ears. And one of the ears has a communicator that is like active and over it at all times. Those are the only people that you would see that you would recognize as members of the, well, yeah, that you would recognize as lockout members.
Spice.
Echo. No. Spice.
MRS and Mrs. Valentine.
Valentine.
Yes.
That seems to be a member of the team that we are facing today.
Okay, we've got two options. We can either say good luck out there, or we can say goodbye and try to kill them.
I would not recommend murder in the middle of the street.
What I'm going to do is, you see that Shirin over there? We're not up against that one yet. So I'm not gonna take my chances on this Lashunta, because also I don't need some bitch looking into my mind. I know her abilities and I don't need that in my life, so I'm gonna go to the Shirin. And Spice is going to waddle up to the Shirin.
Waddle.
I mean, 5 hot.
Yeah.
Like corn
Big
dogs.
distended hot dog belly.
Yeah.
Gibbs can eat those corn dogs. You have the cheek pouches. I mean, like you're built to kind of store food.
Meat sweats.
Yeah.
Meat sweats.
This is a lot of fast food, greasy fast food. And to be really clear, this is like festival food. So you guys are having like really greasy, low quality food.
It's like mostly sand.
I mean, there's a little
Gotta.
10%.
little sand. Anyways,
Steve has like
Ground
powdered sugar
beef.
all around their mouth.
Oh yes, Steve.
you walk over to the Shirin.
Yes.
Okay, no problem. You walk over to the Shirin. They are wearing all black. And what are you doing?
What is their demeanor? I wanna gauge the scene before I get there.
You can see they walk up to a stall. They look and they go, I hope this one. And he takes out a little old-fashioned coin that you've never seen before. It's square, and he flips it. And he goes, puts it away, and walks over to the next stall. Looks over it and goes, flips a coin, holds on to it. I'll have one of those, please. And then you can see he just like takes in some kind of a tentacle that is fried with some kind of a sticky sauce and little bits of green flecks on top of it. And he just kind of...
I would recommend a beverage with that.
Why?
The green flecks do have a numbing property.
Make a diplomacy check.
Can I
Echo making the diplomacy check again.
I know.
5.
Hey,
There we go, call it.
Android.
Looks at you and says, well, respectfully, I left it up to chance. I gotta follow through.
That is fair.
He eats it and then just goes, what's your name?
This is Steve.
Hey, Steve.
Hello.
I'm Miss Valentine.
You have a turn.
I am sorry. I only have a bully dog and some yellow dessert cubes.
And he just kind of walks off. You can see he like goes. He has a little trouble like communicating with the vendor, but eventually gets a drink and is able to drink it. And it is in fact quite sticky. But he comes back over and he says, "Sorry, I really should have listened to you."
So, are you playing in the lockout tournament? I recognize your badge.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a black suit, but yeah. We're part of the Garachi Void.
Amazing. When do you play?
Tomorrow?
That's fucking sick. Who are you up against?
He looks at you. Okay. Doesn't seem to recognize you or anything about the fact that you might be some kind of a spy.
Enemy.
Well,
I don't know. We're not really getting any.
but he says, well, we're going to take on the Vesk. They're pretty good, and I heard they're actually going to do something pretty sneaky against us. So they're switching pilots at the last second, and the Shashi's going to go. He's pretty good, I hear. But nothing we can handle. We're pretty good.
What did you do to prepare? That sounds scary if they're switching pilots last minute.
I mean, we've spent the last 3 years preparing after the last tournament.
Well, you guys, I take it you didn't win the last tournament. That's why you're here back again.
Yeah, I didn't win. But with all the damage that we took and everything, we had to get a little bit of funds up together to be able to compete again.
Would you... So did you meet Hardcore Henry at that party?
I met Hardcore Henry a couple times.
I haven't met him yet, and I'm so excited. Maybe I'll get to see him.
Make a diplomacy check.
Okay.
Echo, you feel like you've built up a pretty good amount of goodwill, but it's sitting there for you if you want to use it.
Are you trying to bait me with my +3 into making diplomacy checks?
Yes.
Shame.
33.
33.
That's exactly what's happening.
With a 33. You say that, and he looks at you and he says, I mean, I could probably introduce him to you. Are you a Lockout fan?
Big Lockout fan. So much that I play a little bit myself.
Really?
He takes
So
one.
just to be clear, he rolled a sense motive check on you, insight, whatever it's called in this game. He rolled a 5. So he really doesn't seem to have any idea, and so this is coming from that. He looks at you and he goes, oh, "Of course you do, sweetie. If you want to beat somebody who actually knows how to play Lockout, I could introduce you to our captain, and he talks to Harker Henry all the time."
I would love that. And she like hams up the like star in her eyes.
Okay, you
Love
can
it.
see his antenna are like going crazy. He's all happy. And he says, here, give me your number and I'll call you. We could set up some time. And he gives you the communicator.
Spice searches around for her communicator and she's like, fuck, I don't know where it is.
Suddenly the communicator that he's holding out just, and he goes, oh, hang on. And he goes, and he pulls up his little texting application and he says, oh, really sorry. Do you have your communicator? I could give you my contact details really quick.
Spice will grab Steve's hand over here and be like,
Okay.
I can't find mine, but here.
Okay.
Steve, if you want to chat, and let's hang out after the fucking just show today.
You seem cool, Steve, but I want to get dinner with this one. And he goes and puts the contact details in, and you now
my
have
hand?
the contact details.
That's your communicator, right? All androids' body is just a cell phone.
I assume that you grab like the
a
hand.
harmful
Yeah.
stereotype.
Boop, boop, boop,
Do you
boop.
have a
Only
hand
some
communicator?
androids
Or
have
do you only
integrated
have the whisper one on
comm
you?
systems.
It's in the concealed compartment.
Oh, right. That's right. Yeah. So you go and you just grab her hand, grab Echo's hand.
So I grab Echo's hand, realizes it's not there, and then we'll physically write their digits on Echo's arm.
It's so
What was this,
a
2012?
communicator
Or whatever.
code is like several hundred digits.
All right, I'll copy and paste it with my eye.
Make a perception check. Sure. That's potentially possible.
Blink twice for Control V.
Oh,
Echo,
actually, you
you
have to
stupid jerk!
you have to pay for a
Okay, it's a 31.
premium app.
So you just look at it and just stare real hard. And he just looks at you, and you can see the Sharen's eyes are not human or Lashunta. They don't emote in the same way. But as the antenna go down a little bit, as like the little kind of arms retract in even tighter, you get the sense that maybe he is almost a little offended. And he just
Echo.
says, you know, it's totally okay to just say no.
Spice
Echo,
is gonna hand over one of
And
the
he
corn
leaves.
dogs. Okay, never mind.
Echo would have looked at the communicator address and whisper commed it to Spices communicator.
Okay. So if you add it
But she
to
doesn't check
the sort
can
of
screenshot with your
communication
eyeballs.
apparatus,
And Spice just goes, "That's weird. I haven't." There's like a tan where her communicator was.
this is a communicator that belongs to Zagazit.
Zagazit.
Bzagazzit. Very late at night, I make these names up and I pronounce them, and it makes sense to me then. And it almost never does when I go back to say it
I like
later.
Bazagit.
But that's that is part of how like
Zagazit.
Sharon names work for me. so-
Zagazit.
I like it.
Yeah.
The bees.
Bazgazzit.
Zagazit.
Echo, somebody took my communicator. That means they're gonna see all my unread text messages.
My nude photos.
That means somebody's gonna read my text messages for the first time.
You have never opened a single text message.
Yeah, you're right. But I like to like scroll social media sometimes, but I can do that.
I'm sure we can find it somewhere. Perhaps you left it at the warehouse.
You're probably right.
You turn around, heading back to the warehouse.
Yeah.
Alrighty. 4 corn dogs in one hand, a bunch of cotton candy, and various other treats in tow. You make your way back to the station. We'll say that whole exchange only really takes an hour.
So we're still working on the junk.
Yeah, and then you guys
Working up
come
an
back.
appetite.
Now, you have all worked on your 3 bulk of junk. You have all gotten some food. You can return and you can eat. What else as a group do you want to do? You still have about 4 hours. We can also fast forward to the match. If you
We
have nothing
go
else
to
to
the
do.
match and just like take a quick second to like scope out the field because like I know you did it with your exocortex, but like laying eyes on it would make
I
me
was
feel
gonna
better in my
suggest
tummy.
that we
Yes.
gather as a team, go over the final plan, and then make our way to the race course to
And-
like do preps.
Segue. Fast
Yeah.
forward to.
No worries.
We-
So
we've
you all
done this.
gather as a
Can we
team.
sorkin it?
Yeah. So you gather as a team. As you're getting your
Are all
ships
of us
ready
for
for
me?
takeoff.
Yeah.
Nice.
Spice will just hand over her fistful of corn dogs, but she keeps all of the cotton candy for herself.
I also have this bully dog for whoever will want it.
What's that? What does it smell like?
What even is a bulldog?
I don't know. Ariana doesn't know either.
It in the general shape looks like a hot dog, but it looks much more fibrous or like a larger sinew kind of. It looks like it would have a crack to it.
Oh, honestly, I was kind of imagining like chili.
It
Yeah.
does have a bit of a chewy texture.
Yes, it does have a very chewy texture.
I'm gonna string it up and put it on my rearview mirror, and that's gonna be my lucky dice.
No problem. It has a nice meaty smell to it. It has grease on it.
It's gonna motivate me so much, but it starts to drip all over my like little panels. But I imagine that helps the give magic.
It's not that much grease. It's more just like contact grease. This is some kind of maybe like a dried meat or something that's been dehydrated. But Gibbs, as a medical officer, actually, go ahead and make a life sciences
I
check.
like to imagine it's like on the fishing pool in front of Gibbs, and Gibbs is like trying to catch it, but he can never catch it.
14. I'm rolling like shit.
This seems like it might belong to like an equine animal of some kind. And as you kind of narrow down on what the anatomy might be for this, the shape really lends itself to only one thing. And only about 50% of the animals have it.
What a message does it send that that's my lucky dice, though?
I mean, for certain people, that will be probably pretty unhinged looking and will lend itself to intimidation.
Cool. I'm gonna leave it there.
Alrighty.
I recognize it, and I'm like, game recognizes game.
You're going to go up against an awakened horse, and they're going to be like... Anyways, no problem. You have that as your lucky charm. Is there anything that you guys are discussing before you leave?
Echo, as they're like walking back to the warehouse and get like real close, Echo is just going to be like look at the ground, like in a very obvious manner, look at the ground and be
look.
like, oh look.
A communicator.
I have found your
You must have
Oh my god, thank you! She sees 4,000 unread messages, goes, nah, not today.
I did whisper call your communicator with that Sharon's number.
Bazaget.
As close as I'm going to get.
Bazagazit.
The
I do
Ice
not
Mage
speak Sharon.
Bazagazi.
The thing I do. Thank you. And then she'll send a one-way text to Bazagazit.
Okay.
Being like, just so you have my contact, this is Miss Valentine. Hope the race goes well today.
Okay, make a diplomacy check. Take a -8 conditional modifier. And this is your disposition.
Whoa, but she gave him a corn dog, man.
Oh, was that?
He
He
rejected
walked away.
It was a 1.
This is a one.
Said, I don't know on this.
You're never gonna get that
Valentine.
date.
There is a little exclamation mark next to your message, and you, Spice, this has not really happened to you very often. Blocked. You've been blocked.
Good.
Is that what happens when you get blocked?
Yeah.
I just kind of assume based on what happens if you
Like,
get blocked
can't
on
go
AIM. This is coming from context from AOL Instant Messenger, so I'm not.
Not a
I don't,
sponsor.
I don't know that I've
Doesn't
ever been blocked.
No
exist.
one's ever
anymore?
blocked me
I
out of all my 22 contacts.
I just wouldn't know. I guess if there's no notification, if there is a notification, I've never gotten it.
Well, doesn't it like it says like this message cannot be delivered?
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
basically what you're getting.
You get a bounce back.
Sucks to suck.
He must have written down one of the numbers wrong.
Anything else you want to do before you take off towards your battlefield? Only about 10 minutes off the station, so easy to get to.
Yeah.
Remember, the objective is to get as many laps as possible. However, it is more likely that they will be attempting to engage in close combat, given their grappler arm and buzzsaw. I will attempt to take the lead to draw away their fire. Bubs will maintain most of the fighting force. You all have your roles.
Question.
Wait, I'm with Bubs.
Yeah.
Okay.
You are acting as support. If you can get close enough to engage with your mysticism, that may benefit us.
So the other team had a mechanic. What's the mechanic for healing ships on the fly? Is there one?
Yeah.
Can
Quick
I
patching,
you can-
engineering.
It's not, you can, basically hold it together during the fight a little bit longer, but any meaningful repairs generally have to happen out of combat.
And I can only do that to my ship, or I can help other ships.
You can only do it to yours, but you have magic officer abilities that you can use.
Dope.
Magic
Let me go
officers,
get that.
You should look at
Yeah.
the stuff
I have it in my binder.
in the
Dope.
notes on one of these.
That farting move.
And
Yeah, I
then-
can fart,
The farting move, that was one that was
but that's
mentioned
also
a lot
only in my
yesterday.
ship.
So,
Yeah.
no problem. Anything else you want to do before you take off?
I'm also gonna reiterate that there's probably munitions along the gun deck of the colossal vest carrier. There are likely added munitions, given that we did not accept the offer.
So they're probably
We
gonna
need to
want,
be especially wary.
Yes, Captain.
they're gonna want to push us into those. This is like BattleBots. Have you seen BattleBots? I love BattleBots. It's so cool.
BattleBots is fantastic.
So
I've watched probably every single.
Yeah,
I
this
love it.
reminds me of just like
I've always wanted to do a BattleBots competition, but I have none of the skills
What
that
are-
you would need,
can I-
except for joy.
Can I look up what the odds are at the bookies?
Oh, you certainly can. Go ahead and make
I
a
want to see
cultures
what our
check.
odds are. And
The most popular
yeah,
spectators.
because I feel like we're
gambling.
definitely the underdogs for this match.
bet on us, bet on us.
It's not a
well,
low DC because this is not like on
that's
the
cool.
public infosphere. You do need to search for this.
Is there online gambling?
There is, but not for this event.
It's gonna be poopy. Cultures.
You do know that there's two places you can go to place bets. The Shipyard of Sin, or maybe Spice doesn't know, but somebody knows that.
Spice is
I
gonna
think
know,
we're
and
in-
I'm
well,
gonna go place
Echo,
a bet.
Echo definitely knows.
Echo knows
about
and
it.
is not
Bet
saying.
on
And we
us, bet
went
on
to
us.
the Shipyard of Sin, so we know there. But the other one we had heard about, but didn't go.
What was your
'cause-
culture check?
8.
8. You cannot find a goddamn thing, but that tells you that nobody's done any research on you. You know, you're flying in right under the radar. It doesn't occur to you because you were not there for the conversation that indicated that a losing team has put 3 years of preparation into their attempt, and you guys had
But
one
this is like-
session yesterday.
Shade has
Yeah, no,
kind
okay.
of gone into
Yes,
this
yes.
knowing that
Yes.
what's that song? Oh, it's
should've
gonna
thrown the
be an
game.
uphill battle.
Yeah, it's
Miley Cyrus.
it's the climb. So you make your way further, and I would say all of you make perception checks as you are kind of moving away. There is definitely more traffic. on this
Hey,
space.
Please, no Julian. Please, no Julian. No Julian. No Julian.
You
Lock
walk your feet
eyes
tall.
with a
Julie.
I walk right into him as I'm talking.
33!
Yeah.
37.
27.
Okay.
26.
Everybody but Echo sees the same thing. Echo sees one thing further. You all, as you're traveling, see there's many ships.
Shade has the highest.
37.
37. You see two other things. all of you see that there are dozens and dozens of these tiny, minute satellites, each one small enough that it could be like its own independent torpedo. They all read on your kind of transponder receiver as communication satellites and probably designed to project images of these races. With your perception check, Shade, one of the things that you notice is there are a few of these that look ever so slightly different. They're a little bit larger, and they probably could contain a small payload that would allow it to serve as a mine rather than a camera. It's really hard to differentiate, even right now, in this very slow approach that you're all taking, which is which. And so at full speed, you will not be able to tell. But it's worth noting that that's certainly a thing to keep.
Can I ping them and then, like, you know, with the track map, point them out to everyone else?
You
Or,
can,
like, try to map
but
them?
they're moving. And so, like, as you are kind of doing this, there's an element of virtual intelligence
they're
that
like-
allows them to behave as a camera drone swarm.
So they're kind of like the Lakitu in Mario Kart, but a drone.
They are a
little
swarm.
camera guy.
They're a swarm of cameras.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll just say, be aware some of the camera drones are outfitted with likely munitions.
Each one is about the size of a basketball. The ones that are different have maybe an extra half inch of diameter, and so like even visually it would be hard to tell. From a distance, almost impossible. With the 37, you could only tell because the physical telemetry data of their movement would indicate slightly different physical characteristics. It's not
like
even
traveling at like 6.75 meters
like when
per
they
second
turn, they
versus,
lose a
like,
little bit more momentum than the
6.4.
other ones.
Yeah.
Little things like that.
So we can't see them at all from a distance, any distance?
You barely see them at all. You can pick them up on your ships, okay? And so like your sensors.
Oh.
Your sensors can read them.
Okay.
It's
that's good
you
to know.
can't tell the difference between like the ones that are altered and the ones that are not.
Okay. But you can just avoid all of them.
Those of you who rolled above a 30, note that there are a couple of ships that are kind of hanging back closer to the Zim crawler, keeping pace with the ship, but a little bit higher up in orbit. You notice, Shade, there are 3 that seem to be kind of hooked on. The rest of you see Echo, you see 2, and the rest of you see 1. Echo and Shade, you see, well, everybody sees a light tug. It's an older Jacinto tug. It is labeled Carbon 4 on your friend or foe display. It is just kind of idling and following at a distance. The second ship, the one that only Echo and Shade see, is called Godfrey's Garage Repair Ship. You can see there is a bright slogan, and there is an animated little Ishtangi character that is on the nose cone. And then Shade, the one that you see that is different than the
Carbon
rest of
4 in
them.
Godfrey's garage.
Yeah, this is one that says it's called Never Stiller, and it's a light freighter. It is unrelated to any of the other ones that you see, and it is perhaps make a mechanic check, engineering check.
All right, that's pretty good. 36.
36. Almost certainly, this is a ship that is here to salvage wreckage. You can see, based on the sort of modified cargo bay, it probably has some kind of a tractor beam-like apparatus to pull wreckage in.
Given that information, does it have anything to do with Slippery Dotson? Dotson salvage?
Given that information, what you know, great trying to draw the connections there, but you recognize all at once you have 3 matches in the next 3 days, and one of the things that you really need to keep in mind is that if your ships are damaged, if things are lost from them, you need to bring them back. And this is likely the Top Rope Turbos have contracted a ship to come and help them pull things back to be repaired, to make this as quick as possible. They have put together a logistics infrastructure, and likely most other teams have like crews put together to do this. People have put like years of preparation into this. You do not have anything like
Makes
that.
me feel like maybe the USR could have helped with that kind of stuff a
This
bit.
is
Whoa,
I
what the
blame
fuck?
the
Oh,
They had one guy, and his
Got
cover
one
was
guy in
as a
admin.
food like
Yeah.
delivery guy. So he was literally like hearing stuff in bars and sending it back.
Resources
He did what
are
he
stretched thin for the USR right
like
now.
the USR doesn't know how logout works. Like, come on, man.
So because we're the third in the day, did the Yosogi team already go and did they lose?
So make a cultures check.
Oh yeah,
Like,
does it have
if we
like
have an
recaps
ally
of the
who we
previous
could
matches?
contract their resources from,
That's true.
then we don't need our own.
We got an in that actually with Lockjaw.
Sorry, you want a cultures check?
Yeah,
That's a 28.
28.
Yeah.
If they win,
Or like someone who I know we're allies with, even if it's not
The
you.
very first match of the day,
Yeah.
the inaugural match of this tournament, was one that was between the Dreadlight Collectives and one of the favorites to win,
Yeah.
the Flying Fangs,
Yeah.
the Yosoki team.
Woohoo!
This is a team that like you can see like everybody was expecting to win. Here.
Oh
they
no.
get upset.
It seems like it.
The final score is the first thing that you find. Dreadlight Collective 100, the Flying Fangs 45.
Oh, they lost by a fuck ton.
And what was your check?
So I want. So my it was cultures.
Yeah. What was the roll?
My goal was to know if they lost, so I can scalp their resources
Yeah.
from
What
them.
was the roll?
Cultures?
Yeah.
Oh, 28.
28. You find out that at some point in like reading all the different like little social media posts,
Yeah.
Cold Brew, the captain of
Yeah.
the Yosoki's team, all of their sensors just went out. And that seemed to cause them to be almost unable to compete within the match. And so something happened there, and within what you're seeing, people are suspecting it wasn't just coincidence. This seems to have something to do with the Dreadlight Collective's capabilities.
Okay.
You also note that there is a blog post from somebody called Quiet Carla, and they are, in fact, a member of the Yosoki Flying Fangs.
Yes.
And they report that their life support became disabled without taking a hit, and they are posting from the intensive care ward at Hell's Healers, which is the only real capable hospital on the Zin Crawler,
Okay.
and it's located and very heavily held by the Carbon Cartel. But they are currently there, and it seems that 4 out of 5 of the ships in total were disabled in this fight.
Wowza.
The Dreadlight Collective is which team again?
You have not found out a lot of information about them. That Ishtangi actually asked if you were them, so you don't really know much about it. The second match of the day was the Vesk, who were facing off against an individual that you had all actually spoken to. Give me a second here.
Dang. All right.
I share all of this information.
Vesk. Give me one second.
I don't know how brackets work.
I don't know brackets work either.
I'm just
So-
crossed out
If there's a
flying
loser
fangs.
bracket.
So, the Vesk faced off against Veloshi's Revengers. This is the individuals who you had all seen in that bar. You'd seen 3 of them kind of gambling.
Yep.
The GTF team.
The final score, the Veloshi's Revengers won 130 to 15.
Oh my god, that's a sweep. Can you
It
skunk in this
was, so it began, and you make a cultures check here, Spice.
Also, I didn't roll well on a perception check because she was going to look for where to gamble.
That's okay. And this is just kind of adding on to Gibbs's roll
This-
to see if you get any more.
This adds to the theory that the Veloshis have some kind of early game weapon or something.
31, 2, 3.
That's my theory.
Okay. So adding on to what Gibbs was able to find, together as you kind of pull through the various bits of social media, that the match began with an individual called Ishashi, who you know is a very important figure within the Vesk on this ship, began by disabling a ship in a single pass on the Veloci Revengers, and then came back and rammed straight into the cockpit, killing the Kasatha pilot instantly. Is a revenge move from this. The rest of the Veloci Revengers came back and pretty much wiped out the Vesk. 3 out of the 5 Vesk are dead. The rest of the ship's disabled.
Wow.
And so it was essentially an all-out war. With that check, you find out one really important little fact.
Yeah.
That dead pilot,
Yeah.
there
Sapa pilot.
I know what's going to be said.
there is rumors almost immediately after this happened that there was an emergency berthing secured along the spine.
What?
Emergency.
And a ship
that?
emerged out of the drift very shortly thereafter, and it caused a huge stir amongst the kind of local area. Briefly, the defense array along the spine was activated because this was a GPF warship. It was only a troop transport, and that was briefly considered to be dangerous and then very lucky as it was mostly empty. But the rumor is that an individual on the Velocia Revengers has called in a favor, and somebody who is an active service GPF pilot is coming to fill that spot.
It's Julian.
And that ship's name,
Just
Who
kidding.
is it?
I don't know. I don't.
it's also Julian.
Is it?
everywhere.
No.
Me?
He's not active.
Julian 12 Toes.
Why would
Meeg
you
is
join
an active
against
service.
us?
Meeg is
Yeah.
No,
Meeg's,
me actually
AWOL.
left.
Meeg is AWOL.
The ship's name. And you would imagine almost immediately that this is a Sharen ship. Is called I Trooped My Pants.
No
And it is, in
way.
fact, a Sharen community class troop transport. It is one that you are familiar with, Spice, because it is from. It is one that flies alongside the Void Eater.
No, it doesn't. Okay, it makes Void Eater so much less menacing now. I trooped my pants.
The GPF, unfortunately, well, depending on who you ask, it draws from the Sharen, the Lashunta, and the Drow, and they all have very different names.
Yeah,
And
Void Eater and I trooped
The
my
Sharen
pants.
typically will vote on their names, and they do like online polling for it.
And that's what you have Bodie McBoat face.
Yeah, so yeah, very much that's
Yeah,
what it came from.
I
But, yeah.
trooped my pants, or I
Tri-
tripped.
I trooped my pants.
Oh,
It's a troop transport,
Yeah.
Oh.
and
It sounds like poop.
yeah,
Oh, slow
just getting
roll.
there?
Yeah, I
Welcome to the table, Ari.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
my pants. Like that's a shit one. Now I get it. I
and
love
Spice,
this.
I would say because you're so familiar with this, you do know that this is a troop transport that can generally carry about 80 soldiers, full equipment, transport vehicles, drone support. It's a company, and that would be bad news. Because it is mostly empty and diverted, it was probably going to pick stuff up, not drop stuff off, or maybe it's a cargo transport or something, but it is not coming fully loaded. As it's moving, you can tell that it's running on a skeleton crew. But it's, I would say, as you are all driving, as you read the news and you look in your transponders, you're able to locate it amongst the sea of ships, and you can see that it is certainly there. It is certainly
it's right
all
there.
active GPF livery. And so this is not one of these rebels. This is active GPF.
Ew.
For Kara's notes, what was the class of that ship again?
That is a Sharen community class medium transport.
Okay. So Velash's Revenge has GPF support.
Well, we knew that they had already been
Part of the GP.
part of the GPF, but they
Yeah.
are former members, so it seems like they still have some ties to the GPF.
Spice, is there anything that you're doing with that information to try to find out more about who this might be?
Yeah, since it rode alongside her old ship, she's going to call Meeg and be like, "Hey, hon, why? Why are you giving me that
Can't
face?"
make communications off of the Zin crawler.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
I mean, you
can, but it's gonna blow your cover.
It has the potential.
Oh, so there's spotty service right now, too.
No one's been making communications.
Yeah,
That
it's like-
specifically relates to the credit systems. It's not
That's what
Spotty's service.
That was the question I wanted to ask.
It's that it almost seems as if the Zin crawler is either actively or through like maybe server degradation losing the ability to connect to the galactic banking services. So on Earth, it is a service called Swift. All banks use this as a way to have oversight and like very quick access to multiple currencies. And if you're disconnected from Swift, you're basically not able to buy stuff from anywhere else in the planet.
Yeah.
You have
Big
like the,
deal when like you go to global war and they're like Swift's like, nah,
yes,
Russia.
it's a huge
Yeah.
deal.
You okay?
Yeah.
Alright.
So
Okay, so instead of calling me, she's going to pick up her communicator, realize it's not on her hand because she put it on her other hand. When Echo gave it back to her.
Where'd
And
my
then she's going to be like, alright, so I trooped my pants, traveled alongside the Void Eater. So she's going to think back to who on the Void Eater would be the first person that would drop out of the sky to join the lockout tournament.
make a straight intelligence
I like how you
check
did that. That was
and
smart.
take a plus 2 conditional modifier.
Okay.
It's Kakashi.
It's an 11.
Dang.
With an 11, no idea.
Yeah,
But
no.
Kinkashi would almost certainly know. I mean, they were somebody who actually kept in touch with people in the
Yeah.
GPF. They were still in a world that they were garrisoned on. And so they probably, if anybody would know, they would be a good call. Unfortunately, it would be a risk. But you can definitely take it.
Alright. I got an invitation from the DM, so I'm going to
That's all I have to do.
call. Yeah.
You recognize that right now, you could just pull the trigger and start blasting all the different ships that are in the air. They're all right there.
Well, I'm gonna do that after I can call Kakashi. Okay, fine. All right. My team says don't do it, so she'll
been
put
trying-
down her.
Gibbs is still like reading like the Facebook comments on like whatever blog post she's like gotten to, and
Yeah.
like it's just like stream of consciousness reading out to everybody.
Yeah.
You see, like she like goes to dial, and then she's like, nah. She's like, well, well.
We gotta go
Nah.
do fights and see.
Hey guys, before we start, the combat, well, I thought it would be a kind of nice idea to keep up the tradition that we did at Oars Bay. And Bubs will like have everyone like come in. He'll take out his Polaroid camera for the second race shot that we have.
But
So you all
like-
fly
I was
closer
gonna say,
together.
we're all in ships.
Oh, we're already in the
Are we?
ship?
So yeah, you guys are like flying and approaching.
Okay, we'll just say Bubs took the picture.
Yeah,
No
because
problem.
our spaceship combat is
In
literally
space,
in
yeah,
space.
Gibbs
So
is wearing
like,
her.
there
well, I
isn't
guess
an
Trinket's
audience just
wearing
watching
her
from
Aren't
the
we
ground.
next?
Okay.
Are we
We're-
3
yeah,
out of
we're-
4?
So you are literally floating towards the battlefield. You can see it in front of you. And so because it is 8:08, why don't we step away for a quick break? I will pull out the things that
Oh, yeah, let's get it, shit,
we need. When we come
combat.
back, we'll begin round 1
Yes,
of this lockout tournament.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us for this
Yeah.
session. We'll be back in just a little bit.
If we
There's a
win, we'll
countdown
get
down there.
logistics.
If.
and welcome back.
Wasn't even
Let me
close.
go ahead and thank you for sticking with us through the break if you did. If not, welcome to Starfinder. We're playing it.
Hey,
You change the music. Let me kill the crowd.
You painted that.
I did.
Everyone, you need to pick a ship. This one's Gibbs.
I already have one.
Which ship is yours in your heart of hearts? Who's this?
The one Spice Beat.
So I'll
Yep.
go
I
throw
didn't
up
make.
the
I
close
didn't
up. This
name
is what people
anybody
are
though.
looking at
So
right
you get
now.
to choose which one you want.
Oh, I can go last then.
You will be able to see it in much closer detail at Albron RPG on Instagram.
Can I just pick one?
Yeah.
Can everyone just pick one?
Far.
Didn't you already paint
Can you
that?
pull those a
Echo,
little
but
bit
it's
more
not here.
central so that people can see it on the camera?
Alright.
Nice, see that.
Gibbs.
Echo.
Echo.
Echo is that one. Yes, that's Echo.
Echo.
Oh, I thought that was.
Gibbs. Echo.
And then for you
Spice,
at home,
Spice.
on this battlefield, and actually for those of you who are sitting around this table as well,
Because you got the bulky.
on this battlefield there's a lot of debris. Much of it from various starships and defense installations that were damaged during the Monday bloodbath that occurred during that uprising. The biggest wreckage is this blue craft that you can see. And it looks much more jagged and angular because it's a Vesk craft. It is this scale with your ships. So it is a carrier. At one point would launch other ships off of it. So your ships are very small compared to that. I would say without any real needing to like roll, there are two places, Shade, that you can see are almost certainly active defensive platforms. They're in the corner closest to Dan, and then the corner closest to Ari. No, they're the ones with guns
This
on.
one, yeah, that one and this one.
These are the camera thingies?
They're defensive.
Those
platforms.
are defensive platforms. So there are literally no shorter than maybe like 120 cameras that are just like a swarm moving around this area.
And is that swarm going to be represented on this internet?
No, because it's just everywhere. So they're just kind of moving around, getting camera angles. And so you would imagine, provided that you all survive, tomorrow on the infosphere, there will be like a highlight reel of this match along with the other ones. And some of those things that you heard about, you'll be able to actually see because of these cameras.
Are these is this the side that had the metal plating that we saw before?
Yes.
With probably some sort of armaments set up along the
It looks almost like somebody has put metal plating or panels along this
over
entire
some
wall.
munitions. Yeah, I wrote it down as like munitions areas potentially along fresh plated metal.
So as you are approaching, you can see all of this, and then
Proximity launched.
differentiating themselves from the rest of the sort of pack, there are 5 other ships that emerge. And for the first time, you can see your opposition kind of flying up to the other side of this field. Give me 1 second here. I have so many notes. You can see these are just dented, raw steel ships, still factory painted for the most part. There are these little green accents that are just stripes that are what differentiate them from the rest of the sort of ships. The only one that is any different, and on the ones that you can see out here, will be designated by the blue sort of colors that are painted onto it. No, it's just a guy. The blue panels, yeah, that guy. That one has the green stripes, it has blue stripes, it has little yellow flowers that look almost like marigolds along it, and that one you have all heard belongs to the captain. That is the one that seems to belong to the leader of this group, and they're actually flying closest to you at this moment, although still separated by a pretty far margin. You can see they all kind of flash to a slightly different color on your transponder so that you can differentiate them from the various other things floating around in the system. But they all move off, and there is only about 5 minutes until this match starts. You can see that there is a countdown that is suddenly pushed to all of your heads-up displays. There is a little bit of pinging coming from both Gibbs and Spice's communicators as your social media applications that you've been browsing in the previous couple of hours pick up updates that the next match is about to start, little pings about the Neon Wraiths, come and collect your money when the Neon Wraiths lose, things like that. And you recognize very quickly, people are not betting on you.
What? Shock.
That devastates Spice.
Remember, everyone.
Moral lack of victory. So with 5 minutes before the match starts, is there anything that all of you would like to do?
I would like to turn on my oxygen tourniquet thing that lets me breathe in space.
Okay.
If for some reason I lose.
It's not a bad idea in a combat situation.
Can I ask a dumb question? We're all
No
like,
such thing as dumb question.
when we're like zooming, we're all zooming same way, right? It's.
Ari and I both work in corporations. There are dumb questions. I can tell you.
I guess that's true. Yeah.
And I have to convince people that they're not.
Not
There's
at
no
this
such thing as
table.
dumb question.
Not at this table.
But okay, like we're all going one way, or they're
No.
going one, and we're going
So
one.
on your heads-up display, as the countdown is ticking on, little things are popping up. It's like the battlefield is populating on your heads-up display. One of the things that comes up right on the tip of the nose of this craft and right on the tail, there are 2 little points. And you need to pass by one and then pass by the other to complete a lap.
Does it matter which direction?
It doesn't matter which direction. And no, the big one.
Oh.
Yes, that is the vest carrier, that blue one. No, all you have to do is go around that craft.
Around from here
Yes,
to here.
correct.
Either like this way or
So
this
laps
way.
each lap around there will net you points.
way above it.
Basically, as long as you are able to pass one of those beacons twice in one lap while also activating the far one, you will score points.
And then can I kick off the like little like space hula girl thing that's on the like dashboard of these ships?
You have 2 now, actually. So you have first that little hula girl, but now you also have
a
dangling.
meat puck.
It is a dried
Penis.
bull's testicle.
Yeah.
Or sorry, not
Penis.
testicle. Penis.
It's
Great.
penis.
So I get rid of the like real one and I replace it with I glue duct tape my binoculars on the dash.
Okay, so you just kind of you put them there, you're like, wait, this is a little too low. You look around and you find like part of a broom handle and stick that on and then stick those
Why
up
don't you
so
just use
it's
the
like
bully stick?
perfect kind of eye height
Because
for
it
you.
wiggles.
It's just resting on your forehead.
Anyway, not supposed to expire.
All of a sudden,
This is your fault, Kara.
I know.
all of a sudden Gibbs's like thing just like fills with junk.
Yeah.
Just like her like just a little face.
All your little tchotchkes just go around this place.
Cool. I'm
No
done.
problem. Anything else?
Remember, along the left side of the hull, there are armaments, most likely proximity. We need to complete laps, but don't get too close. There are also 2 gun decks, and I'm gonna point them out.
Okay.
Are there weak points on the shippy ships over there? Can you like look at them and tell me?
Can I go look? Can I get a better look at the shippy ships?
Make a perception check. Well, actually, I would say it's not about perception. Make an engineering check.
Thanks, man.
Oh man.
I'm gonna use my daily I'm gonna hold it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna use it.
Yeah.
Because it's still a 26.
Your communicator begins to ring.
Beep.
As you beep, it solidifies a little bit, and you can see there is a human on the other side of this line. They have extremely blonde hair. It's almost white. They have tan skin. Their eyes are the color of polished copper. You can see just barely. Actually, with them sitting in the ship, you can see from the waist up, they're wearing a Galactic Lockout Association official jumpsuit. It is quite worn, but you can see the patch that would lead that to be a member of the Solari Solar Warriors. You can see this individual just kind of glances over at you, and they say, "So you're our opponent today. Best of luck to you."
You as well.
Are you saying anything else?
Wait, what?
Communication shuts off.
Can I ask one more dumb question?
Yeah.
So we identified the captain ship. On our team, is Shade the captain? So people are gonna be gunning for him.
You would imagine so, yeah.
And his has got like special lights and doodads.
Not special lights and doodads. There, that seems to be more a personal choice.
Oh, so he is looking to be targeted.
Perhaps that might make a sense motive check.
Ooh, yay! Yay!
That's a good thought.
A Gibbs roll.
Nice! Killing it! 28!
Okay, with the 28,
Wait, aren't we playing the?
you
top rope
absolutely
turtle?
lose points if your captain is destroyed, so why would you purposefully mark it like that? And it's designated as a captain, so it's not deception like they're putting cool markings on just a random ship. And you realize in looking at this, there is probably some element of reinforcement to the hull or armor that would make it significantly better at taking damage than the other ones. That probably means it's slower as well. And so less capable of moving away, but it doesn't really need to. You can see this maybe being a tactic to slow down parts of a team while the rest get ahead and are able to score points.
I'm gonna share that. Like, you know, hey, maybe if we target the captain ship, like, because they're expecting it, it might be more beneficial to just do the other 4.
Yeah.
Look at all that plating. Look at those steel rivets. That's galvanized welding.
You get that call, nothing further. The call communicates, and the timer counts down to 0. And as the first round of our lockout tournament begins, can you go ahead and roll Shade for us, our initiative here? Actually, no, everybody. Sorry. It's not the
We're all an
directive 0. We're
individual.
playing
Yeah, we're all
actual
in little
lockout
ding-
now.
Is this positioning okay?
Do we start
is
here?
it-
Or do we start at like a
So you need to
determined
start
finish
anywhere
or
within
start line?
this kind of half of this quadrant or this quadrant over here.
Okay, so basically like
So we're
here,
good.
Correct.
here.
Yeah.
So what if we just...
You're absolutely good there, but you can move yourself further if you wish.
Scoot us
Yes.
all up to the
Well, so this is Gibbs, Shade, Bubs.
Isn't that shade?
Which one do you want to be? Yeah.
Yep, everyone has to pick your own ship.
Echo took the black wings.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Echo, right?
This is Spice.
Yeah,
Spice with the
Spice.
line through it.
Echo.
No, at that Echo's the one closest to Ari there.
This one.
That's Echo.
Okay. Shade.
Gibbs.
Bubs.
Okay. So I was gonna put these guys in front.
All right.
No, I want to be in front.
Oh, okay. Then I guess maybe we want these our muscles to be close to the other team.
I'm not muscle.
No, I know I am.
So as we begin,
I'm trying to
a
strategize.
couple of reminders here about Starship Combat. So the way that this is going to work at the start of every round, you guys all do need to declare your roles. In this, because you are each flying your own ship, please be aware that you have a computer that can assist you so that you are not locked into doing just a single thing every round of combat. It does have a much lower modifier for most things than any of you would be able to apply. So it really is supposed to signify that your ship can help with the tasks, but it will always be better with a person doing it. The first phase will be engineering, then helm, then gunnery. And is there any questions about Starship Combat before we jump in? Yeah.
Just for lockout rules.
Yes.
Do we get an action each phase, or each round we choose one phase to act in? Because we're individuals operating
Correct.
this, do we get to act in each phase?
Yes,
feel
and
like
that's
that
what the
would take
computers
really
are for.
long.
So like you can only, but that's the thing. So you can only do, you have your one action, right? You can take minor actions in other phases using that computer modifier, but you can't take a so Echo.
So I can't do an engineering and a,
And a
like
piloting. You would have to do an engineering and then use the minor crew
Use the-
action to do glide, I think.
But
is
couldn't
what it is.
everybody do like
Yeah,
captain and then also like science officer,
No.
but then
No.
also
No, that's
That's
the
what
one
he's saying.
exception to that as far
You
as
still
I can
have
tell,
one action.
you have two exceptions actually. Shade, because they have an exocortex, they can pick one action. Their exocortex can then also do a computer check, which could be several different science officer actions
Bottom right
and a few
corner is
engineer
what you can
actions.
do.
And
As an
then
extra.
they could also use the ship to do those minor crew actions as well. Gibbs, as a magic officer, could in theory be a little bit more flexible as well. But for most of you, you'll have the chance to do one thing very well, and then two things with help with the computer.
So just like in Starship Combat, we can choose like one of these.
And then I can fire twice.
like other actions.
So we can choose any of these to
Yep.
to operate in, and then so like you could do your captain action in one of these phases,
Yep.
and then the computer would take care of the other two phases.
Yeah, the way to
Okay.
think about it is you can really focus on one of the phases. You can still do things in the other ones, but it won't be as impactful.
Okay.
So, can everybody go ahead and roll for our turn order here?
And what's
yeah.
the modifier for
Did we
that?
give you our initiative?
That's what I'm asking for right now.
Dex.
Is it initiative for this? Or
Correct.
Is it,
Yeah, it's
okay.
initiative still. Whatever your initiative modifier is, you get benefits from anything that
devastating.
you would normally get benefits from. Anybody natural 20? Anybody 30 to 25?
22.
22. Okay.
That wasn't a 25, but
Anybody 20 to 15?
Oh yeah, sorry.
20 for Echo.
25.
18
I
for
heard
Bubs.
30 to 20.
Echo 18 for Bubs.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, yes.
Anybody 15 to 10?
This is 10.
Ooh.
Oh,
Sorry.
boy.
Gibbs, where are you hanging out?
6.
Spice, what about you?
9.
Ooh. I'm not gonna say.
Oh, whoa,
anything
wait,
about that.
sorry. 7.
Oh,
I was
did.
wrong. Sorry.
way better.
Hey, so we're right next to each other. We're both trying to find the gas pedal.
Yeah, because I've been a long time. Why
You
is
were-
it stuck?
You were holding A down in Mario Kart and you spun out at the beginning.
Yeah, fuck. So excited.
I had to kick a can out from under my pedal.
Oh, the worst. Okay, so the way that this is going to work out, at the very, very start, we have our captain on the other team, Amarana Epinoc. The second place is going to be Shade, followed by an individual who goes by the name of Mario.
Whoa.
Mario!
I was gonna say, if Mari's playing against us, it's a different game.
Suddenly.
Yeah.
So Shade, then Mario. After Mario is going to be Echo. Following Echo is an individual named Molina. Following Molina is going to be Bubbles. Following Bubbles is going to be Quola 33.
Cola.
QOLA 33. And then following them at the sort of middle of the pack here is Iwa.
One more.
After Iwa is Spice, and then after Spice, the very bottom of the order is Gibbs.
Wow, we
Slow and steady wins the race.
So,
That's what they tell you
That
when
is
you're
what they
the
tell you.
last person. Waste.
So we start with our engineering phase. And actually, at the very beginning, are you all declaring a role for your ship?
Yeah.
What are you declaring?
Spice is like, I'm the captain now.
Okay, Spice is the captain.
And this is for us in the ship.
Correct.
Yeah, can I magic officer this shit?
Yes, you can.
Can I still move? I can still move, right?
Yeah, you can do everything. This is basically what are you focusing on? What is your major action going to be?
For this round.
So should we? So like, should I put
It's up to you.
for piloting? Piloting.
If you want to do any kind of tricky maneuvers, I would recommend piloting. If you almost always, it will be beneficial to do other things unless you're trying to maneuver a ship.
I have to declare it now, even though I'm last? That's fucked.
I know.
I hate you, Joe.
That's part of why it's so helpful to roll earlier. You're moving last, but you're also getting to react to
know what
everybody.
other people are doing.
Yeah. Because there are things that can mess up, what you have planned, most likely.
Alright,
One good thing to remember about Starship combat, no matter what happens, all damage resolves at the same time. So even if your ship is destroyed, you still get to finish all your
And
attacks.
hypothetically, you could probably hold your turn as like a trigger action, maybe?
No.
No? Okay. Just
You
checking.
can't.
yeah, I'll magic off.
Okay. Magic officer.
Echo's gonna focus on piloting.
Okay. Piloting Shade.
I'm gonna focus on engineering, but then also the science officer for my exocortex.
No worries, just worrying about you for right now. And then last but not least, Spice, Echo, Gibbs, Shade, Bubbles. What are you focusing on?
Gunnery.
Gunnery. Sticking with what we know. Cool. So, we are going to transition over to the helm phase.
That's me.
It's everybody. Everybody go ahead and make a piloting check.
Oh, with my sorry.
So for piloting, this is going to be...
Shit pile. Oh, that's not bad.
God. I didn't think about how hard this is going to be for me.
Yeah, dude, you got like 7 piloting checks over there.
The attendant slicers have a +2 to their piloting.
Oh, nice. So that's on top of my.
On top of
okay.
your bonus.
Where do you
yeah.
see that?
I've got a digital readout.
Okay.
It's
Excellent.
it's a quarter of your ship's speed, I think.
Anybody 25 to 20? Okay. What do we have? Sorry.
Sorry, I've a lot.
So it's 38.
38.
Because
Okay.
it's 6. It's my piloting skill
Correct.
with the modifier from the ship as well.
Correct.
Heard. Yeah, 38.
38. Excellent. Okay. And then who else has above? Yes?
26.
26
I
for
have
Gibbs.
30.
Okay. 30 for Shade. Who else is in that range?
23 for Bubs.
23 for Bubs. What are you doing there, Spice?
So that's
Piloting
14
plus
plus 2 is 16.
16. Alrighty.
Yep.
So, give me 1 second here. You guys actually did much better than that.
Nice.
The way that this is going to work Iwa, Quola, Melina are all going before Spice. So you can see we're gonna go. Okay. You see two of them just tear ahead, and the leader, with all of these flashing markings, peels off and begins to transverse on the right-hand side of the station. You can see there are active defenses on this, but they do not target this ship. And this ship seems to be making a beeline towards all of you. The other two just accelerate, and you see one of them seems to kick a little bit more into their engine to get just a little further, but they are heading directly towards the other ship. The other two have not gone yet, but that brings us to Spice.
Oh, dope. Okay. So if it says speed 8.
You can move 8 hexes.
Okay.
Just keep in mind your maneuverability. That tells you, how many you need to move before you turn.
So wait, what's a
Yeah, I
perfect
have
turn
perfect
zero?
maneuverability
So that
turn
means
0.
you can go 1, 2, 3.
Right,
rather
okay,
than
so you don't have to use a whole
1,
turn to
2,
turn, yeah.
Yeah,
3.
perfect is great.
Yeah.
Well, great is great. Perfect.
It's perfect. Essentially, it makes it pretty much like moving, but
Okay.
you do have to change the angle for shots and
Right.
stuff.
And I don't use my captain ability now, right?
Correct, unless it's one that takes place during the piloting phase.
Nope.
Excellent.
Did we skip the engineering phase?
No, we didn't. So you picked roles. Oh, is there anything else for the engineering phase? Sorry.
I was gonna divert
Okay.
power to engines.
No worries. So you can divert.
It's a DC check, but
Yeah, go for it.
should be pretty not terrible. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I passed it. It's like 30.
Yes. And if it's above a 28, I think you're in,
Yeah.
in the relative neighborhood.
Yeah.
So no problem. Was there anything else for engineering?
Magic's not an engineering.
No
count.
worries. So skipping right ahead, those ships accelerate forwards. Spice, you begin to move forwards. That brings us to Mario. Mario seems to be kind of kicking in tune with all of them and goes forwards, and they're also going to push as hard as they can. And that brings us to Bubbles.
Sorry, one second. It's
yeah.
magic officers in engineering because I'm reading this chart from
no worries.
Donna.
So go ahead. Starship Combat, we don't do it a lot, and it's also really confusing. So no worries.
This
Can
is
I-
a true math finder.
Crap.
Yeah, it really is.
You know what? I guess I will spend the resolve point to. Can I? I'm gonna spend. No, I'm just gonna Eldritch Shot, giving me a +5 to shoot.
Okay, so with all of your junk here, you reach over and you dump a cola can over onto your dashboard. This weird glowing juice just seeps out and goes into the console, and there is sparks and there is smoke, but on the right hand side, the junk cannon begins to glow and you are ready for your attack phase. That is you for your engineering. Jumping us back into piloting. Bubbles, where are you going?
I want to hit this guy, but I also want to move here. But I believe this guy is probably going to be the guy. Oh no, because that's the captain. Still, he's going first, so I had to shoot. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to move 8 spaces to be here. Do I still have a shot on him right there?
So you're just going to fly straight like this and then turn?
Yeah, and then do a little turny turn.
Is it a front arc or is it a
Which weapon are you
starboard
using?
arc?
I'm going to use my rail cannon for you, and
It's a
what do you-
chain cannon.
no, the plasma, hold on. The plasma round launcher. Sorry. And Joe, your question was about the arc.
Where is it mounted?
Oh, you mean
Starboard,
the gun?
Correct,
Okay,
because
I
that
thought you meant-
depends on where you can
I
fire.
thought you meant if my ship was
No, no,
drifting.
no, no.
So it's
we didn't
gonna-
decide.
It's
Did we?
either your port or your starboard.
Yeah,
You
we
get to decide right now.
Yeah.
So pick.
Front.
Port.
Okay, so port or starboard?
Port, right or left?
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Port or starboard?
Right.
Okay, so
I
starboard.
thought
Starboard side.
You
Yeah.
fire off, and
side,
from the starboard side, that's great because that's the side that
Yeah,
will allow you to
yeah,
take that shot.
Yeah.
No problem. You tear along, and so when we get to the gunnery phase, you can absolutely do that. That is your move.
Yes.
Okay, that brings us to our final person, Iwa, who you can see seems to be almost kind of burning backwards, and they don't move their full movement.
What?
No.
That's probably the grappler, and it's doing something similar to what I'm going to do.
Gibbs, where are you moving?
I'm next?
Yeah.
I thought I was last.
So it's like we do all the
first
moves
order.
first, and then we go to the next phase. It's complicated, yeah.
Then
Phases
I
and phases.
want to move. Wait, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7.
Oh, check.
Can I get here?
I believe so.
7, 8, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'm gonna. Can I got wings.
You do? Okay, so you have options here.
Yeah.
You are flying straight down the middle. You recognize the captain off on your port side. To your starboard is the rest of the team, and you recognize that you are in several firing arcs at the moment.
But I also have several firearms.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay.
But no worries, it is your turn, Gibbs. That brings us to Shade, and then Echo.
So for the helm phase, I'm going to do glide and move half the normal speed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where do you want? Oh, you've got long arms.
1, 2, 3, 4 here. My normal speed's actually +1.
Yep.
So I guess I get 5.
Yep.
And then I'm going to use my exocortex to do scan.
Okay, which one?
I'm gonna try to learn about this one that was approaching.
Okay.
The captain that I calmed
So
with.
go ahead, make the computer's check.
And that was the person who contacted me, right?
Correct.
Okay. Because I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah. Kind of keeping that communication line open. You use your exocortex to begin a scan and to read
that's,
through here.
A 40.
You-
Yeah, right?
Okay, so as you go through and you scan, your systems run across this element of kind of starship, and it is a success. What do you want to learn about it?
I'm going to learn about other.
Other.
Okay. This ship has an element of coating on the outside that will store laser fire, any kind of energy damage, and will have the ability at close range to likely channel this into one of its grappling-like weapons. This will still take damage, it reduces it, but more importantly, when it gets close, it can dish it all back out.
Okay.
But only lasers.
Energy-based weapons.
Oh, okay. Huh.
Be aware that energy-based weapons will be not ideal against this opponent.
You broadcast this out to the rest of your team.
I think about how my chain cannons must just mean I've got chains loaded in.
You're ready to go.
And I'm
Tons
like,
of
I'm
chains.
good. It's physical
Shade, that
damage.
is your piloting.
back is proud.
Echo.
Yeah, right?
Echo's gonna spend a resolve point and just punch it.
Okay, Echo goes fast.
So 1.5. I know, shocker, right? 1.5 times speed. So Echo moves 12 hexes towards the big Hulk.
Wait, why am I counting 5?
1,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12?
Yep.
You happy with that?
I'm so happy with that.
All of a sudden, you see just the engines flare to life and they burn. And right at the very edges, those of you who are on the team with Echo and who are behind immediately, you see even the kind of shell warp and turn as the heat expands more than the craft should, and certainly kind of like melts just the edges of the false shell around the tendon slicer, but you rocket off, and you actually briefly, you accelerate past everybody. You're way out there, and your transponder immediately pings 1, and you recognize you've begun a lap. You are probably within the rough proximity of where you need to be to start flying around. If you get any further than this, it's going to stop your progress. And so something to keep in mind, you can't get too far from it once you start. But that is your piloting phase. That is all of the piloting phase. And that brings us to the gunnery phase.
Helm phase.
Sorry,
Yeah.
helm phase. My fault. Piloting. Anything else in the helm phase?
Yeah, me.
Okay. Yes.
I'm gonna use my captain action to order Echo. Yep. To what do I fucking say here? I trust you to go as fast as you fucking can to get us points, so I order you to go fucking fast, babe. So that means, what do I fucking?
Is this the one
A
that's
skill
one
check
on?
to provide a what's the skill check though?
It's gonna be diplomacy for you.
Okay, well, so can Echo choose to fail?
No.
Because it's against your starship tier. So basically, you're using the comm system, and think of it like the communications don't get through if you roll poorly.
Okay.
Because the data link is fucked or something.
So what is my
So it's DC 15 diplomacy check or DC 10 check using the same skill.
So
that the
my
target-
diplomacy is already over 50.
Plus
It's 15 plus
1.5 your starship tier, so plus 8.
Oh.
So the DC is 23.
Okay. 12 plus 16. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
easily. Yeah, no problem. So you are able to on the fly, and part of this is as you are all communicating, you are doing so across encrypted channels to just your team. Otherwise, there is the chance that the other team can take the communications that you are going and use them as well. You are able to send a secure message over to Echo, and Echo all of a sudden, even more juice in this craft. You were able to do even a little bit more.
It's a second action this round.
Yes,
So you can keep going.
So I can do it again?
you can.
I'm gonna spend another resolve point to do it again.
No problem. So with this, as you fly by, these words crackle out of the comms, but they begin to almost fall away into static because you are moving so fast, and that just makes you want to go faster. And so you push the throttle down. There are warning lights going off. You can see the elements of the canopy that are glass and steel along the front begin to glow just the faintest bit red. But you are pushing this to its absolute limits, and you right by this carrier. As you do, can you go ahead and make a piloting check, please?
You overclocked your ship.
Oh, they're fucking fine though. I saw
am
that roll.
I am fucking fine. So 39 plus 2 from the ship is 41.
40.
Yeah.
Fine.
Gotta go fast.
Can you roll a d4 for me?
Yeah.
They get a +4.
I think it probably
movement.
set off some sort of
Oh, for
munitions
sure,
along the
it
edge
set
there.
something
and
off.
is
Just the warp
directionally-
it, you
That's
breaking
2
the
from the
speed
D4.
barrier.
So, as you go by, you are going so fast that they just are pulled from the ship,
Oh, dope.
but they
What?
don't actually follow, and you get the sense that they are magnetic or have some kind of tracking. But these two things suddenly blink to life. There is a as the metal panels erupt, and these two mines begin to just. And they would almost certainly follow you if you were not screeching like a bat out of hell away, and you are already out of their range. But the next person to come along on a lap will have some friends waiting for them.
Am I able to communicate that or
Yeah,
no?
you certainly can.
Magnetic mines ahead.
How-
Take care.
What's the reach on them? Is it literally the next person?
don't know.
All that you
don't
know
know.
is that where Echo currently is, because Echo's moving so fast, they activated it but didn't catch them.
Okay.
If you are where Echo is, you are safe. If you are where you all are, you are safe. You know nothing more than that.
Okay.
That is,
Can I use a secondary action in the helm phase?
no, you cannot.
No. Okay.
So anything else for helm phase? Alrighty. That pulls us into the gunnery phase. And for the gunnery phase, we are going in our little initiative order here.
Actually, Joe.
Yes.
My focus fire algorithm, it says at the start of the gunnery phase.
Yeah.
So is that my turn or just the in general start of the phase?
It doesn't really matter. We'll do it at the start of your turn because all damage resolves at the same time.
Okay.
So even if like you destroy another ship, they're still going to get to shoot at
Okay.
you.
Okay.
So hold on to that.
Okay.
Mutually assured dismissal.
Just for simplicity's
Yeah.
sake, if it changes anything, we can kind of like retcon it
Yeah.
back. But we go in the same order that our pilots went for this turn, which means we are starting with our folks down here. So No, so we're starting with our friend over here.
If I didn't choose guns, I can't shoot
Who
guns
is
now.
flying behind the captain right now?
That is Bubs.
Bubs. You can see in the aft light of the two thrusters that are firing and powering this along, there is a small bay that just shifts down, and there is a small blue glow as they fire their railgun at you. This is a rail launcher, and this is going to be a 24 against your AC.
I have a 12 AC.
12 AC, unfortunately.
It's plus your piloting bonus too.
Oh.
So
Oh.
add that.
Okay, yeah, no, that's not correct then. Yeah.
No, that's just the base. You have to add your
Then
modifiers.
my modifier is 4, 12 plus 4, 16, plus armor bonus of the ship, which is
4.
so 4, 20, and then size mod 22, mystic mod none, so 22. I think.
22, okay. So, unfortunate.
Yep.
Bubbles, 10 points of damage goes straight into the front of your ship, or actually, that would go right into the starboard side of your ship. That takes away shields first, and then hull damage.
So you have 2 shields on this side.
But you see this blue glow hum, and then suddenly it just goes out. You don't hear anything, and then lights start blinking on your ship. As this doesn't even create a jolt, it sends a tungsten rod straight through your ship and passes straight through, tearing bits out. Just continues out into space. That is that is the captain. Next up is Quola, and actually, it's Quola and Marina. The only one that can make a hit is going to likely be nobody. They're not going to do anything. All right, that brings us to Spice.
What phase are we?
Gunnery phase. No worries.
I have nothing I want to do.
No worries. That is Spice. That brings us up to Mario.
So
You can
hold on.
take a
about?
snapshot.
So
Minor action.
Yeah?
For us to most rounds, if we don't have action.
Well, I don't need to shoot anything. What
There's
do I need
nothing
to
really to shoot right now. But yeah, you could normally.
But I have
Okay.
things to shoot.
Yes.
Yeah, no,
But
I'm
next
too
up
far
is
away.
Mario. Where Mario is, they cannot shoot. Next up is Gibbs.
Okay. So
Shade your own deck.
I have twin linked canyons on the port and starboard side of my
Okay.
ship, and I have so nicely aligned myself with Shippy Ship on this side, and I want to trigger this thing to hopefully like blast on that guy, and I gave myself some extra range to do that.
You did.
So
So what you can do, and I believe you took, give me 1 second here. Gibbs, you took the magic officer.
yes,
So you have how many slots on your computer? I think you can only take 1 shot, I believe.
but
Is
they're
it-
linked twin canyons.
Oh, they are linked.
Nice.
That's correct.
So I can go zoop 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 out both my wings, right?
I think technically they're supposed to be
like-
linked in the same direction.
Yeah, it's like zoop, zoop, zoop.
What I will say
Shit.
is real cool, and also just how it makes sense for Gibbs. We'll say that you did that, and so it means either both miss or both hit.
Okay.
And
It was a
it's doing
mod that
damage
I
to two
added
separate
for you.
cards.
Gibbs can do like this with her eyes.
Yeah, basically.
Dope.
You just mounted them like sideways. On the-
Yeah,
Gibbs,
sorry.
I added
just wanted-
elbows to your guns.
So go ahead, make those 2 attacks.
I mean, technically, Gibbs is a rat, but Vision is better.
No.
Oh wait, I rolled 2 dice. One's a 17 and one's a 5.
Okay, so. And that's total with all your additions?
Oh no. Oh, I get a plus 12 to hit.
Okay, so
So-
total of.
So the lowest one is
Oh, you're attacking, right?
I did all that shit.
Okay.
But like, yeah. So when you count this up, my piloting ranks is
It's tough. That's why usually for this kind of thing, I'll do for each ship.
oh wait,
I do a
so my
couple numbers
piloting
ahead of
ranks.
time.
Oh, my piloting ranks.
Yeah, it's mine aren't great.
No, I've got 10, and then you add
You
your.
have 10 ranks in
Yeah,
it?
because
Gibbs has been pumping them in throughout the
Holy shit.
campaign.
Yeah. So I've got 10 plus my dex is 2.
Okay.
So that's 12. There's no computer systems bonus. There's no crew bonus. The range penalty doesn't matter because I Eldritch shotted this.
Nice.
And I have no round penalties.
There is a computer systems
it's
bonus
4.
because you're getting.
You get a plus 4.
Okay, so then my to hit is plus 16.
The gunnery too. Nice.
And so
So-
totals of
You get a plus 4.
So my
basically,
lowest
and
one
for-
is 21, and then
both
the
hit.
yes.
Both hit. Yes! Absolutely. As you split this and you are going, you pull this lever, both of these guns move in the exact same direction, but on opposite sides. And so this is almost just pure luck that you are hitting both of these ships at the exact same time.
Okay.
It would be very hard, actually, to line this kind of a shot up again.
Cool.
Nice.
I do.
Hey,
Look how many ones
every
that
little
is.
bit counts.
It does.
But my goal is for this one.
Yeah.
I'm trying to like trigger it or some shit.
Okay.
The gun deck.
Oh, you should.
Whatever this thing is, because he's real
Yeah.
close. I don't want this to explode. So
That
like,
one's a gun deck.
So you're firing at that one and then
this guy.
that guy. Okay,
yeah, that's
no
how
problem.
my wings are.
I got you. So the guy that you shot from kind of in the rear,
Takes 11 damage.
and
Shot
you
him
can
in the
see
butt.
all of the junk just burns up in the shield, but certainly that is a good amount of their shield just gone right off the bat. That second blast, as it peppers into this kind of installation, you can see almost instantly first of all, lots of rock crumbles away, but whatever was on top begins to shift and move in your direction, and you would guess that you are now a target. It seemed to not be active yet, maybe waiting for a round or something of that nature, but it is certainly active now. And this seems to be a projectile launcher of some sort. It is damaged but not destroyed. Anything else, Gibbs?
No.
Alrighty, Shade. You see Gibbs fires off, Bubbles fires off. What are you doing?
I look out the window and say, "Oh damn, that's wild," because I've already done everything I can do.
There you go. Damn, that is crazy. That is Shade. Echo, what would you like to do?
Can the computer shoot things?
Yeah.
It's the snapshot.
Yeah.
It's a -2.
I want to use the computer to fire at the mines.
Yeah.
They're within my 5 hex.
So you can go ahead, make your roll. You're using the computer to do so. So you take that -2 for snapshot. You get the +4 for the computer bonus. So ultimately, it's just a +2.
So it's +2. So it doesn't. So it's just +2 to the roll.
Correct.
It's not including my.
Not including your personal modifiers.
Not including the ones that you brought. To
So the roll is 12 plus
Base
2?
attack or piloting.
No,
plus 2.
not my stuff.
Yeah.
No.
It
So,
does include it, but that is not part of the +2.
so because this is a computer, you're not adding your piloting
Yeah.
modifier.
Okay. That makes
So
sense.
what am I adding?
Everything that's not your piloting modifier.
So Dex, computer systems, crew, you get your crew. You can also.
Because this is so complicated,
This is
the
so
reason that I
gosh darn
can't
tough.
tell you is because I do all this ahead of time because it's
Okay,
so
so-
hard.
It's your
So
decking
it's my
computer
dex.
system.
So 12 plus 4 for dex, plus 4 for the computer system. So that's 18. No, that's 20. Minus 2. So that's 18. 18.
Yeah.
18. You fire, and this is a tiny little object. You miss.
Cool.
And so still tearing away, you are going so quick that this thing can't even track you. It's no surprise that you can't hit it, but you are well on your way to turning and making your first lap. That is your gunnery phase. That is all of the gunnery phase.
No problem, no problem.
And then is there anything else that people need to do to resolve this turn?
Say again?
No.
No. Anything else you need to do?
Round 1 ends.
Hey!
What about my gunnery?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Did I skip you?
Yeah, it's okay.
Oh, it was because you got shot. Yeah. No worries.
You
Okay.
got shot.
So this is, I hate to do this, but this is a kind of complex question.
No worries.
Grinding gears
Yeah.
is a melee weapon.
Correct.
It just says 1 hex. Do I roll like a standard starship weapon, or is it automatically hit because it's just 1 hex from me, or how does this? I don't
I
even know.
believe
what
you're
gun-
still rolling.
Okay.
It's a melee
It's
weapon.
like an attack.
It's a
roll.
ram.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what it
I
is.
believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, you're.
I thought it was like a-
basically no. The front of your
You've
ship
got like
has a bunch of grinding.
You're not
what I thought
ramming
it
it with
Yeah,
the
you've
dead
got a
front, but you're
universal
basically
drive
like
in it.
if you have the grinder mounted on the top, you're basically going under and then lifting your
got
ship
like a
as you
Yeah.
grind.
thresher.
Yeah, we can say that.
Yeah.
It's like my clockwork sword.
Yeah, very much of the clock.
You got like a wheat thresher in front of your ship.
Here we go. Ooh, not good. That is a 4 plus 14, 18, and then plus I add another 4 for my piloting.
And what kind of weapon is this?
It's a melee.
8.
It's the grinding gears.
Right.
4, 18, 22.
22.
Yeah, this is-
That hits.
Oh!
AC's lower with ships.
So go ahead and roll damage for that as you get right up behind this ship. Gibbs
Yeah, it's 3.
pelts it with little elements of the junk cannon that don't hit the space station, just tiny little bits of like screws, nothing to do damage. But in that moment, Bubbles, you recognize that this piercing damage doesn't seem to be activating whatever coating is on the ship that Shade talked about, and that tells you that your grinding gears are going to be fine. So you ram right into the back of the ship and you chew bits of metal up. It causes the ship to buckle and move a little bit. But anything else?
As Bubs does this, Bubs says to himself, "Just think like Gibbs. Be the garbage man. Take care of this."
Yes. The trash compactor.
That is a 3/3. Wow. Trace trees.
Wow, very nice. So for a total of 9 damage.
Plus.
Do you have a damage modifier?
4.
What's 4? Very
Right?
nice.
Because it's piloting.
So you dig into the back of the ship, and very much you can see, you can't quite get into the metal, but you can see there are sparks, there is elements of the actual shield itself that are being pulled away by the grinding bits of metal on the gears. Anything else, Bubbles?
Since this is the first attack that we're doing in this game,
No worries.
I just add +4 my piloting bonus to the gunnery, right? That's it? I think that's it.
I
for
believe so,
damage.
yeah.
I don't think there's anything else. Okay, that's it.
If you have piloting ranks, it helps a lot.
Yeah.
I
But
do.
no worries. So that is all of the gunnery phase. 1 round has gone by. And for all of you on your heads up displays, on the far left-hand side, you see 1/5. For you, you also have 1. It is this kind of orange number. And as you go right by it, it's getting a little bit more green. You would imagine it will become green and then shift to 2 once you have completed a lap. But that is the first round. That brings us to the second round. Can everybody make a piloting check for order of initiative here?
I would like to change from captain to science officer.
Excellent.
I'm gonna change to pilot.
Okay.
Is this when we add the +2?
Yes, because you add
plus
plus
two to
4.
piloting.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4.
Okay. Anybody natural 20? Anybody 30 to 25?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pilot
I'm clocking in.
It's 40 for Echo.
I'm clocking in at a 43.
43.
So, hang on. 40 is. So we got
Dirty 20.
Shade. Give me 1 second, everybody. Shade, then Echo. 20. Sorry, we have 30 to 25. Anybody else?
To 27.
Okay, 27. We have for Gibbs.
15 plus 12.
And then you said 25 Spice.
20 for spice.
20 for Spice, okay. Anybody else 25 to 20?
18.
18 for Bob.
That's not in the range, but
It's because you're grinding.
yeah, I'm great.
20 to 15.
You learn a lot from Spice.
2015?
Who are you missing?
I think that's everyone.
Oh, that is everybody. I just have to write my guys down. Second here.
They all got zeros.
No.
They all fly into the
Highest,
sun.
highest is only 28.
So they fly into the sun.
They're definitely slower than you all are.
We did learn that they have more defense, but
So I didn't
slower
realize this was
ships.
a piloting check, so last time I added my initiative. And so that's how I ended up with 6, but my piloting starts as 12.
yeah.
Yeah, I can't
So,
go lower than a 12.
the way
on
that this is going to work, Iwa, Cola, Molina are all going to start us off, then Bubbles, then Spice, then Mario, then Gibbs, then the captain on the other team, then Echo, then Shane. So, Iwa, Cola, Molina.
Yeah, I do.
Keep that in.
That's this book, boy.
I wanted to use my chain cans because I thought they could go, but they, I guess, shouldn't or can't or something.
But they still do the sound effect.
Yeah. Oh, they did.
I feel like Gibbs added that like afterwards, so that every time it's just
Okay. You can
vacuum of
see
space, but somehow
there
noise.
is that same ship that was going a little slower than the rest, continues to lag behind. You can see 2 of the other ships accelerate, one going forwards, one banking off and to the right, using elements of a wrecked ship as cover. That is Iwa, Cola, and Molina. Bubbles, where are you moving?
Fuck, 'cause I kind of wanted to fight this guy. But there's no attack of opportunities, are there? No, yeah.
Starships.
No, I think I'm gonna stay.
You can't stay, so there's
Oh,
a minimum
yeah.
that you do need to move.
Okay, I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
I believe you need to move half your speed as a minimum.
Because it's like the trajectory of your thrusts.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are certain stunts that you can use to just kill your momentum.
Lap's
Flip
good,
and
man.
burn.
Yeah, you want to
Yeah.
be moving towards the...
Bubbles like didn't understand he's doing laps around this like little like old gas station.
Yeah, right.
Lap here. Lap
Guys,
here.
I think I'm on lap 38.
Yeah.
Has it peeled
No
into the
bubbles.
I am speed.
You can somehow hear
Speed
screeching
McQueen.
tires as he donuts around.
Yeah.
Oh, Bubbles is just like, I'm faster than Echo.
If yeah,
then, yeah,
if I'm
okay.
switching all
All right. So you can see almost instantly this person seems to be outmaneuvering you after you grind the gears in. So you bank off into the left. You can see this person's moving slower. Go ahead and make a computer's check, Bubbles.
Oh no. I am not good at this. +0. Okay, here we go. That is a 5.
Suddenly your communicator
Plus-
turns on and you can see the person in all black, pale skin. You can see they're wearing headphones and they look down and an eyebrow goes up and they have a face mask so you can't see anything else other than just that eyebrow expression. But they say, that worked? And they seem to put the bare minimum effort into hacking your communications possible and still, having rolled a 7, somehow managed to bypass you. And so they currently have access to your communicator and have an open line to you right now. You can see them on your kind of heads up display. But that is your turn, Bubbles. Spice, where are you moving?
It's like the Always Sunny.
Can I, in the piloting phase, can I use
They
the
basically just were like, Bubbles, password. Oh, that works.
piloting?
So you just move on the piloting phase.
Yeah.
Well,
That's the helm phase.
okay.
So that's after.
All right. Well, then I'm just gonna move 8.
It's a little confusing.
Alright.
Wait,
When can you do your first?
Well, actually,
magic.
piloting
officer.
is just
Missing
for the.
unit.
So this is the helm phase.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But it's like the first part of the helm phase.
The way that we did it last time,
Right.
people didn't jump in with their helm actions right away, so I didn't realize that they were holding them. So you can do them now.
Okay. So if it's
I think
my
I'm doing-
helm phase, so I moved just 8,
Okay.
Okay?
and then I'm the science officer now.
Yeah. So that's another thing in the helm phase.
Okay.
So you can only move half though because if you're taking the science officer move, then the minor crew action is to glide, which is gliding half your speed.
Okay. So it's still 8.
It's 4 because half of 8 is 4.
Yeah, but then can I have the computer just keep me going?
Yeah, that's what it's doing. It's only going 4.
Yeah, it only moves at half speed. That's why. So you're doing a
put on
science
cruise
officer
control.
thing
Right now you're holding the wheel with your knees, and so you're only moving at half speed.
because you're doing computers checks stuff.
Yeah. Your hands are like dealing with the rest of the other instruments.
Okay.
And you get plus AC.
Yeah, you get bonuses to AC and
That's
stuff.
the best. Honestly.
Okay.
Actually,
What?
you're
Shit. Okay. Well, I'm trying to activate my data link thing.
Okay.
And I'm going to have Bubbles. Actually, no, never mind. Too confusing. Never mind.
Okay.
I'm just gonna go 8 then.
my comms are hacked too.
Okay. You move forward, just kind of following Echo, but Echo, you see the thrusters just become pinpoints in the distance. They are somehow moving impossibly fast. You have the ship like pinned all the way down. Their foot must be inside of the floor because they are going so fast. But
Visual ID.
that is your turn for movement spice. That brings us to Mario and then Gibbs. So Mario,
Oh no, that'd be awful. If you did
it's gonna
that.
make a pilot.
Oh.
But I already took an action during the hand phase.
Your computer can take that.
This is what would happen if Spice did that.
But I am this.
So they are going to turn
Oh Jesus.
and then
So visual
flip.
ID.
Gibbs, where are you moving?
So I'm declaring I'm a magic officer
So can I
come
also
engineering
glide?
phase.
Also,
I'm gonna move.
can I also glide?
Yeah, this is important. You gotta help me out here.
I will. We're a team right now. I'm gonna hold on. What are my forward guns?
You can see where Bubbles has currently ended up. The slot
dope.
for the railgun in the ship in front of him is opening up, and you can see the arms on the ship behind him are beginning to spin up this buzzsaw. Bubbles has found himself in maybe not the best position.
But
I am forward guns this way, aft guns that way.
Yep.
Cool.
No worries. So you take a wide arc. You can see this individual as they swoop up and then suddenly flip and burn to phase bubbles, but you are basically coming in right on their tail, and so you're going to get to shoot almost straight into their cockpit.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Da da da. Da da da.
As
Right?
long as you have the range, yeah, you're gives us all of the piloting, the master of logistics.
It's like,
Gives us
it's
holding
like
our arms going, yeah, looks right.
literally just like on a plane being like,
I'm imagining the ship actually just flying, like doing like 360s, and just holding
oh,
the trigger.
I'm just
Just
picturing.
firing everywhere.
I changed Gibbs' console to
but no
Battleship.
problem. So
And she's moving pegs around.
that is Gibbs. That brings us to the captain, then Echo, and then Shade. The captain
Ooh, fuck.
is going to turn,
And crash into the
Crash into the thing.
Yes.
accelerate, and then they. It's cocked.
Spice. This is you, right?
No.
That's me.
Are going to accelerate again. Ugh. There we go. And so all of a sudden, Bubbles, as you peel off and away, you can see they just put as much as they can, just kind of flooring it, and they escape the two different scrums and seem to be approaching the main carrier. But that is the captain. Echo, what would you like to do? And then Shade.
Echo wants to use the computer for a visual ID to see if they can suss out any more like systems that might be hiding on this wreck.
So scan.
Visual ID.
Visual-
No, it's a minor
scanned, but
action.
using the
Gotcha.
Using
So
the
yeah,
computer.
go ahead. And you're trying to find.
Any other weapon systems that might be on here.
basic info, defenses, or weapons.
So there is attack of opportunities
Oh.
because flyby allows you to avoid.
It's a minor action, yeah. Or for hang on.
So you can do one attack of opportunity
Flyby is a
per
stunt
round.
for piloting.
Yeah, but it's so the text here says you can move without attacking provoking opportunity,
Okay, give me 1 second.
which would tell me that there is normally opportunity attacks. And then it says an attack of opportunity is a single attack made with a ranged starship weapon. A starship can only make one attack of opportunity per round. It doesn't have to make it if it doesn't want to.
And it does need to be something that's within an arc that it crosses, right? So like it has to be
Yeah.
important. So then it doesn't matter. They're fine.
But
No worries.
just FYI.
Good to know. Good to know. Very good to know for them, especially actually. So
Sorry.
no, it's great.
It's a 32, and the DC is 10 plus 1.5 times the enemy starship tier.
Okay, and you're doing the carrier.
Yeah.
You said 32.
Yeah.
Pizza pizza.
Yay!
So you recognize the ship itself almost like dead and lifeless, and the scan itself really isn't focused on the ship. You're focusing on these little after elements that have been added. And when Shade pointed them out, that made it much easier to target. You recognize, and at first you think it must be a mistake. But at the moment, there appear to be about 118 mines that are left within this. And so
Lovely.
this could continue to distribute them for the remainder of this race and
Sweet.
never
Possibly
really
the tournament.
run into running out.
Love it. So they just figured, we'll just stock it once and we'll be good for the entire tournament.
It seems like probably for longer than that even as well.
Cool. And then Echo's going to use their action to just continue like using that lead foot.
No problem.
Floor it?
Yeah.
So yeah, you can see right now, like you estimated that there might be like half an amount of like munitions that would normally be stored on a ship of the size. So you're thinking maybe 45 munitions. All of a sudden, for all of you on the heads-up displays, you see this has a tremendous amount of firepower just housed within it, ready to explode away as you go by. How many hexes are you staying within as you go by Echo?
Within the Echo's just going a straight shot from here to where that.
Phenomenal. Make a piloting check, please.
Yeah, gladly.
I believe in you.
I believe in myself.
Get that lap.
We're in a bad situation right now.
Don't worry. I
No,
got
we're
you.
not.
I got you.
We're doing great.
What's wrong?
It's
we're getting
21 plus computer piloting. No, not 21. 31 plus computer piloting, which is
can't get
2.
destroyed.
So it's 33.
Roll a d4.
Sure. Let me find a d4 because I put it back. There we go. We'll use the big.
Anybody planning on getting near a ship should probably keep a d4 at 3. I love it.
Noted. It is out.
I can hear everybody just going for it.
Nine
Not ones that we keep very often.
Great.
So 3 more of these things emerge.
Oh my gosh, you got so many lights.
Oh, I chose that number for a reason.
I have 118.
Oh my god,
lights.
wait, what?
I have more than that actually, but I have at least 118 of this color.
Sorry.
So suddenly, as you
That one's red.
tear right by, Echo, you are screaming around this craft. And as you do, it's almost like the force of your ship is pulling parts of it away, but it is just these micro explosions that detach the panels and allow these mines to come free. And 3 more of them are now in your wake, not following you. You are able to speed right past those as well. But you are creating a ring of munitions around, and the second lap will be much more interesting.
There are a grand total of 118 mines located on board this craft.
Us. It's,
So that is your movement, Echo. Shape, where are you moving to?
so I'm going to go ahead and actually, I'm gonna move with full power. Move the starship 1.5 times its speed.
But isn't that only during the piloting?
This
No,
is the
it's-
piloting
it's
phase.
the
This is the helm phase. So yeah,
Oh.
Piloting is movement, and then helm phase is the phase in which movement
piloting
happens.
is like you roll to determine what the order is, and then the helm phase is right after.
If you think Yu-Gi-Oh terms,
So
helm phase is really when you would be playing
So
cards.
it's a base of 8 plus 2 for the diverted engines plus 1. So
What do you?
I'm determining my speed.
12.
Why?
But-
But why is ours 8?
One.
Why is his 12?
he's-
Oh,
I
because he's
have
1.5
bonuses
times. Right.
also.
And he gets a default. His is 9, always.
Not always.
No,
No.
because so
Why do you get
full
bonuses
power.
I have a feat.
I think it's
Oh.
16.
I have a feat and then plus 2 because I diverted engines.
Yep.
Oh, sorry. Then
Yeah.
18.
So it's well, it's a base of 11, so it's 22.
What?
Or sorry, no, it's
18.
18. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Because you add the plus 2 and then that's doubled.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I'm gonna keep a wider berth and go here.
No problems. And keep a wider berth. Can you go ahead and make a piloting check, please?
It's, like a third, 40.
40. With the 40, you do hear on your computer there is something that tries to lock on, something else that tries to lock on, but you dip, you roll over, you are able to pull a little bit further out of range, and none of these mines that are active lock on, and you keep a wide enough berth to pull no new ones out. You also see on the heads-up display, bing, the little green number as it begins, and you are on the process of your first lap. I would say, Spice, where you are, you also have that first lap indicator beginning as well. That is all the movement. Anything else in the helm phase?
You get points for having
Magic office. Just kidding. Is in the engineering
There
phase.
we go.
Can I use my science officer thing, or I already use
You
it for
can
movement?
use. So you could have used your science officer thing if you used the computer to move half your speed instead.
So I can't. So
Now you can use the computer to do something like visual ID.
so I can only use it for the minor actions. Though.
Yes.
Oh, so then I can use, even though I'm a science actor, I didn't use it, so I can use visual ID.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
only
you
move
weren't.
half?
Because there was no science officer action taken since
Right.
you did a helm action
Okay, so I'll do that.
Piloting it.
or piloting action.
Okay, including. All right, so I'm gonna use my visual sensors, and I'm gonna make. Oh well. So
What you
basic
doing?
info, defenses, or weapons. So I want to know what the weapons are of one of the ships that we don't already know.
I
Okay.
don't know any of the ships.
So you know this one has.
Alright.
Besides the one
A
that.
butthole.
The one behind it, then. That's
We
gonna.
know this one.
So I'll do the one that's furthest to the starting line.
Go for it.
Alright, so I'm gonna use my perception check. And that's +3, that's 15 plus.
Might be close.
Let's see, perception is 30.
Dirty 30, it wasn't close. No problem. You squint, and using your computer to zoom in, you can see visually there are 3 weapons on this ship. On the front, you can see, in what would loosely be like the shoulders of the craft, there are 2 arms. One has a hacksaw, one has what looks like some kind of a strange electronic, it looks almost like a starship taser. You can see on the back of it, kind of pointing towards you, but certainly out of range, right? You can see a rail launcher that is mounted aft.
Okay.
But that is your final part of the helm phase.
Yes.
No worries. Helm. Anything else for helm?
Yeah, I want to use my exocortex
Yep.
for target system.
Alrighty.
I'm going to make a computer's check against the captain's ship. The DC's 5 plus 1.5 the enemy starship tier plus any countermeasures and sensors.
Alright.
And on a success, the next attack on the enemy starship scores a critical hit with a 19 or 20.
Okay.
It's probably not going to be a success, but we'll see. That's 27.
27, so close. But unfortunately,
plus the 4 for the ship, right?
Nice.
if it's plus the 4 for the ship, oh, well, you're using your
3,
exocortex. You're not
right?
using the ship's computer.
But you get the modifier for like anything, right?
No, not for the exocortex. The exocortex
okay.
is something that exists within your head. It's not
Gotcha.
part of the system.
Okay, I thought it was still taking the plus 4 modifier.
No,
for the
unfortunately.
ship. Okay,
So,
never mind then.
You were very, very close, however. You were right on the cusp. But no worries. Yes.
I would like to do an engineering action.
Yes.
Great. I am a stick sexism officer, and so I'm gonna magic myself and help Bubs, and I would like to spend a resolve point to magic haze Bubs.
Of course, the fart technique.
Yes. So I sent out a fart cloud, and I need to be a 28, but my mysticism at a default is 19. So let's see.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Plus I get a
32.
bazillion for the
Yeah, that's
ship
a
and
nice,
whatever.
you needed an 8.
So Bubbles, you get a +1 to your AC.
That's very good.
Bubbles,
for-
all of a sudden, as you see this rail cannon begin to open up in front of you, you can see these arms begin to extend behind you. There is a of just smog and little bits of soot. Suddenly, ting, like a little can clings off your cockpit, and you feel a little bit hidden.
And any of the enemy's science officers who are trying to do scan or lock on options against Bubs take disadvantage fundamentally.
So, Bubs, right as this happens, you can just hear from the other person on this open communications line, shouldn't have wasted my time on you, I guess. And then the communication is cut as this cloud goes over top.
That was big. That was big.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That
Saved
was
my ass. Thank you.
the helm. That will move us. This will move us over to gunnery. So this starts with Iwa, Kola, and Melina. Iwa is going to take that shot backwards at Bubbles. Bubbles does a 31 hit your KAC. Or sorry, not your KAC, your AC. Yes.
31,
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's 13, isn't it?
You get
His is 13.
It's mine's a 20, so.
Sorry, 30.
you get
Oh,
bonuses too.
Oh no. Yeah,
I think
no,
piloting.
just 20 exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so
I know.
this
so much more
hits,
about
and
that.
as
I know
you
you do.
see
I'm like, what
through the
was-
cloud, there is a slight blue
Plus your
pulse,
piloting.
and then you take 12 points of damage
Where?
right in the front as this
Okay.
blasts straight backwards, and you see there is a ripple. The smog moves as a rod of tungsten fires straight through your port side wing. There is sparks, alarms begin to sound, but no problem. That is
Yeah, you just throw out your shit.
Iwa. Kola is going to take actually, Bubbles.
Yeah.
So they are going to reach and extend one of these arms. And they are able to, with this ability, make their melee range 2 hexes as they stretch this entire thing out.
Oh, they got that
They are
extendo
making
grip.
an attack.
What the fuck?
Does a 22 hit?
I don't. Hold on. 12, 18, 12, 18. Oh, that's. Oh, I should actually had more. I had 21 plus 2. I had 23.
23?
I should have said 23 last time.
Oh, well, still would have hit. But this, they rolled a 22. And so, Bubbles, as this rips out, you avoid
Getting grabbed.
15 points of slashing damage as this would have just swept through.
Oh, that would have taken our ship out.
eviscerating the shield, cutting into this. This is a close combat weapon. You can see this probably has a limited number of these extendable charges, but it would have been devastating, and it almost hits you.
Question.
Yes.
Does the arm extend back into itself after it's done using
Yes, it does.
Good. Okay, so attack of opportunities. I don't have to worry about this guy. Good.
That
good.
is Quola, and then finally Molina has nobody that they want to shoot in front of them. So that brings us to Bubbles, and then Spice. Bubbles. In this place, surrounded by this mystic haze, you have taken damage on the front. You were missed from behind.
Yeah.
But you are in a bad spot. What are you doing?
I can't peel off. I mean, can I take a minor crew action and then do my regular action? Because I haven't used it yet.
Yeah.
Oh no, I have.
No,
I did
no,
pilot.
no,
I did
yeah.
pilot. Yeah. I wanted to glide to get out of there, but I can't. All right.
And you couldn't do them in the same phase
Yeah.
anyways.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
The only thing that you can, I believe, do is you would be able to do a snapshot using, if you had 2 weapons.
Yeah.
Can I ask one question?
Yeah.
So Glide just says if no pilots acted,
Yeah,
it just the ship just continues to move.
correct.
Is that the computer doing it?
Yes, and so it's only moving half. That means that you can still, like, using your maneuverability, turning things.
Yeah.
That's really marking your co-pilot, kind of like, pulling you around and doing
It's
that kind
kind
of
of
stuff.
like smart cars now.
Yeah.
It's not going to drive the whole thing, but if you just don't touch it, it'll keep you on a course.
Bubbles?
So you can only.
I'm going to have to attack him with the grinding gear because that's what I got to do.
There you go.
That's the best weapon I have.
So this ship, as it fires this railgun into you, it buckles your ship, but you surge forwards to make that attack. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's the best.
Go ahead, Bubbles.
Chain came to 60
Make it happen.
versus.
Shoot the thing.
Come on.
No, I mean,
come on.
you just saw that other melee weapon would have done a significant amount of damage.
7 plus.
Plus your base attack.
hold on, I
bonus,
got
so
And you've already dug a little bit into the back here.
20. What is it? 7 plus 18 is 25.
25 hits. Go ahead and roll damage. And you guess that this would almost certainly break their shield because it was already ruined from the kind of crumbling bits of the gears previously.
should already have some.
Yeah.
What are you looking for?
Can I get a 3d8s?
Yeah, they're
It's like just
here. There's a bunch
I
of
know.
Take them all.
I'm just gonna hold on.
Yeah, you can keep them for the round. I don't think I need them.
Well, what if you mind thrust someone?
That's true.
Okay, 7,
now
5,
roll my
1.
This
So
one's
that's
completely cocked, so re-roll that.
that's a 7 again.
That
So
was a 1 before, so that's better.
12, 13
13.
plus I believe no, we decided we don't do any more modifiers. So just 13, right? We
13.
don't have piloting to guide.
Thir-
So no.
This is a minor crew action, yes?
No, it's just
Snapshot?
attacking.
no, this is your full attack, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
never
regular
mind.
attack.
Gunner
Yeah.
phase.
So just 13. That's it.
13 is still great. 13 rips through the rest of the shield. You suddenly feel a buckle as your ship is able to finally close the distance, and there is a slam as you collide with it, and the gears just rip into the metal. This is enough damage. Could you roll a d20, please?
Ooh, that's a natural 20, Joe. Here we go.
Go ahead and roll a d100.
Oh boy.
Are
Here,
you gonna kill this
take
guy?
these.
Here.
Roll these two.
Or that.
That's
6 and
36.
A 36.
Yeah.
Okay. So with that 36, give me just 1 second here. The arm that is like kind of on the front of it, the one that mirrors the one that extended from behind you, that is just, you can see some part of it that connects it to the ship itself is damaged, and the whole thing suddenly extends far out in front of it. And you would imagine that ship's kind of like buzzsaw arm is disabled.
Nice.
Or malfunctioning,
Okay.
technically. But they are hurting, and you can see the rear shield is down, and there is a good chunk of damage missing from their health. Anything else, Bubbles?
That's it.
Alrighty. That is Bubbles. That brings us to Spice. Spice, where you are, anything for the gunnery phase?
Nothing from me.
Alrighty, that brings us to Mario, and from where Mario is, nothing really that they want to shoot at either. So that is going to bring us to Gibbs.
So I can't shoot, right?
Correct.
Yeah, you can't shoot, but your ship computer.
Even though it already flew? I
Oh
moved
no,
forward.
then you can't. No, I didn't realize.
So
that
you're
you, yeah.
so,
you're all
where it says
done.
modifiers on your sheet, on your ship's sheet,
Yeah.
it says +4/+4. So you
Yeah.
can use your ship twice. You've
Oh.
used it once, correct?
Great.
So you can use it one more time to
Okay.
make
Snapshot.
a
So great, then
snapshot.
I'm gonna snapshot. And if I
And remember, this is going to add that as your modifier instead of your piloting modifier.
okay, and if I shoot from this angle, do I get that broken shield of this guy, his butthole?
Yes, you will.
Cool. Can I?
Gibbs, masterful flying.
Thank you. Okay, I want to shoot him up the butthole with my chain cannon, but I only care about one side.
Okay, it still fires both. It's twin
Yeah,
links. So for
but
what
there's
it's worth,
nothing-
yeah, I know, but something to keep in mind. That is the downside that there is
Come on,
Yeah.
consistency.
Come on, alright.
Ooh.
Plus your base attack bonus.
Which is not good. Because it's not this plus 16 magic number, right? It's like
It's plus the 4. I mean, you're taking a shot with the like auto cannons.
right.
So
It's 9, right?
yeah.
Yeah, 9.
it's not gonna.
9. Unfortunately, the computer is not able to keep up with your maneuvers. There is a mystic cloud that is kind of fogging the area, and you can't quite hit with your chain cannon. But anything else, Gibbs?
No, I'm good. Bubbles is in a
Alrighty.
better spot.
That brings us to this individual. They have nothing to do. That brings us to Echo and then Shade. Echo, anything?
No. I
Alrighty.
use my the visual ID.
No
Computer
problem.
used that.
You are tearing around this thing, scoring points for your team. That is your gunnery phase, Shade.
Yeah. I think that's it for me. I'm not taking any shots because I'm on
Okay.
the other side.
No problem. That is it for you. That brings us to the next round. You see a number 2 kick up on the left-hand side of your screen. Now, question for players. There are 3 more rounds of this. We definitely don't have time to finish the battle tonight. Do you want to do one more turn and then stop? That will take probably close to 20 minutes. Or do you want to stop here and we can continue and finish this fight next week?
Let's stop here and strategize.
Okay.
Like how to make sense of this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, because it is 9:34, as we end this round, as Echo and Shade are tearing around this, as this gunfight is happening off in the corner, this is where we're going to end for the evening. But we will be back next week to finish the first round of Lockout and see where this adventure takes us. But thank you for sticking with us.
Stupid topic.
Well,
Thank you
I
for
can't
sticking
take
with
a
us
photo.
for this session of Mosaic Team 5, our original Starfinder campaign. Give me just 1 second to put different music on here. Pew. We are going to not be playing D&D tomorrow, just as a reminder. We are instead, at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, going to be playing Ari's Shadow Dark Gauntlet. And this is a meat grinder of a one-shot. You can come and watch many people die. I'm there, Matt's there. I believe we have Vincent, Hannah, Kara, and Emily.
Emily.
And my partner Emily. And so you can see all of us die, or most of us die, many times. And it's really, really funny. You really should check it out. 7 p.m. I'm at least going to be in chat. We're going to have it on a TV upstairs where the rest of us are painting minis and doing things like that. So I'll say hello. Hopefully we'll see you there. If not, we'll see you next week. Goodbye.
see you, space boyfriend.